Hey, I unmuted it. Thank goodness. What's going on, everybody? LA, it is Friday. Feliz Viernes. I'm fighting with this mic right now because it is really loose. You are tuned into Ladies Night Radio Show. It's your girl, Mysterious Jax, coming to you live from the Good News Studio. Here with me, my girls. Go ahead, Maria. You want to go first? I see you.
You already know. You looking at me like, come on, girl. Come on and hang.
I'm used to going this way because Marty usually sits here.
I know, but Myra wasn't paying attention.
But Myra wasn't paying attention, so that's when I looked at you. So I was like, go ahead. And you were ready. You were like, I'm ready. Go ahead, girl.
I stay ready.
My girls are here. Let's go.
Yes.
What's up? Check in. Let's go.
It's Crazy Maria on the mic.
Hey, guys. It's Myra. Happy Friday.
Hey, yes. Like you heard, Marty is not here. She is out road tripping somewhere. I don't know where. Honestly, I don't even know where she went.
She told us last time.
I forgot.
I just can't remember.
North Carolina?
North Carolina? I don't know. I'm sorry.
She's in North Carolina.
There we go, Marty. Shout out to you. Marty, if you're listening, make sure you call in. I had Kosi text you, so check your text messages. Anyways, happy Friday, everybody. Welcome. I'm excited. Another exciting Friday here at the Ladies Night. And I'm even more excited because we have a special... No, let me take that back. We have a guest co-host. That's right. In honor of Marty's missing today, we have a special friend here, the homie... Faletti. I was gonna say your last name right now. I almost said your whole government name, but I was like, nah.
This guy's got wide open. Like,
what's up, Faletti? What's up, man?
What's up?
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Hey. Welcome. You know, it's usually the fellas. Sometimes they feel like they're in like the hot seat. So because they're like they hear the title "Ladies Night" and they get scared and they're like, "Are you guys mad?" Hey, no, they're like, "No, never."
Are you?
No, never. We just like to talk about things from the ladies' perspective. That's it. And we don't man bash. I always got to remind it because I swear, like I say, a lot of the guys here on the show, like on the station, they've been hitting me up from like the sports shows. They're like, hey, Jackie, when are you going to let us on there? We need a guy's perspective on there. I was like, first of all, we don't need a guy's perspective. But yes, you can come. And then, yeah, it's a good time. So actually next week, just to let you guys know, we will be having Mark from Sports Talk with Mark. He will be joining us next Friday. So make sure y'all tune into that show. But tonight it's about us. It's about the ladies. And my homie right here, Faletti, who came all the way from Oregon.
Oregon in the house.
But I just want to clarify, he didn't come just for my show. He was already coming, and then I invited him, and he swooped through. So it's, welcome to the Ladies Night, Faletti. I'm going to give you a round of applause.
Hey.
So I'm actually excited that you're being here because I wanted to do this topic. I kind of changed it up a little bit. I was going to talk more about like our cultures, which we are still going to, but I wanted to talk about how it is to live in LA. What was that noise?
Myra.
Oh my God.
Myra farted.
Yo, farting over here. What's going on? All right, y'all. I mean, the bathroom's right there. So we're going to be talking about what's it like growing up in LA. And I definitely want to bring that up, especially because you don't live in LA anymore, Faletti. I know you were born and raised in LA, but you don't live here anymore.
In Lenox.
Okay, sorry. But in general, Lenox does fall into the LA County, right? No?
Lenox.
It's LA County, but they're not LA.
Oh, God. No. Whatever. Well, then we'll get into that. But I definitely want to get that as far as like living here and now not living here. And like, we're going to get into stuff like that. Like, what do you miss and stuff like that. But I'm excited. One thing that kind of got me into that is just kind of like being in my city yesterday and just being around the people and mourning and showing our respects for Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace. And just kind of like what he represented for the city and of LA and just all of that. So, yeah. But anyway, let's get the show started. Are y'all ready?
Yes.
Everybody on their phone. Wake up, ladies. Wake up.
I'm ready. Sorry. I'm just telling my fans to listen in. That's all.
I appreciate that. So, first segment is the Cheesemate. So, today's Cheesemate has to do with Magic Johnson. So the NBA superstar LeBron James was shocked, like most of us, when we discovered Magic Johnson had abruptly resigned as the Los Angeles Lakers president of basketball operations on Tuesday night. Johnson, who's 59, who played for the Lakers for 13 seasons, announced Tuesday he was stepping down, citing his desire to return to the simpler life he enjoyed as a businessman. He reportedly did not tell Buss or general manager Rob Pelinka about his shocking decision before he announced it in front of reporters about 90 minutes before the final game of the Lakers' sixth consecutive losing season. Damn, don't be talking about my Lakers. All right, anyways. So the Cheeseman also to this too, I don't know if you guys have heard, but it's just the Cheeseman. So Cheeseman is not necessarily facts. But apparently they're saying he's resigning because of some, like, I don't want to say sexual conduct or just misconduct that has happened behind the scenes. And he's trying to, like, get at it before it comes out public. I don't know how true that is. This is like what's, I heard it through somebody who saw it on ESPN, and I was literally trying to look it up on ESPN. The only thing that I saw on ESPN was saying that these rumors are going out there right now, but that's not the case as far as why he's stepping down. Apparently, he did address it, and he said that these rumors are false and that he is the type of person to have a very strong personality and be in people's faces, but he's not like, he's demanding. He said he's very demanding, but it's no such like misconduct that is going to make him like leave like that. And then the rumor also from somebody else is saying that he felt betrayed and that's why he left. But I don't know. What do you think, Folletti? Do you think his excuse for leaving so abruptly because he just wants the simpler life? Do you think that's just it?
I think it's just that. I mean, the guy likes to, reach out and talk to different athletes, and being in his position, he's not able to do so. So I think he's giving us
You really think that's
facts,
just
man.
it? Okay, because look, when I left my job, and I left on good terms, but I knew I wanted to leave, I went to meet with my boss at the time, and I gave a 2-week notice. Like, I wrote it out, and gave a 2-week notice. And I thanked them, and I left on good terms. So the fact that he just leaves abruptly, like, without telling anybody, checking in, like, it makes you seem like there's something else going on. No?
I don't think
There's
so.
probably something going on internally. I don't think it's anything between him and Jeannie Buss. He probably just doesn't get along, or who knows, but
I don't know. I feel like there's more to the
I
story.
don't think it's any conduct or sexual.
You sure?
I don't know.
I mean,
That's a pretty sexy guy. So
he is.
You know what?
just saying.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
doubt it.
I feel like there's more to it. It cannot just be that, like, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, also we're losing right now. He didn't make the team anymore.
So that makes it even worse that you quit when your team is losing.
He got us LeBron.
That makes you look so bad.
He got us LeBron.
Yes.
And he's probably like, you know what, man? That's it. I'm done. Y'all figure it out.
That's not even fair. I mean, look.
Like, seriously, that makes no sense to me.
The Lakers weren't losing. They had half of the team got injured.
we
We lost, and then we lost Zoe, best defender on the team, right? So losing those two guys, and then Rondo, and then Kuzma, and JaVale. There's a reason why we lost so many games.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if we're losing, and that can't be his reason. Oh, you guys are losing, I'm out. Like, that makes him look even worse. If that's like it.
Nah, it's
I really
not because
think
we're losing.
I really think he wants to go back to having fun.
But you wouldn't like at least finish the year.
The year's over.
The year's over for us.
Something probably happened for him to leave. I don't think.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking it is.
The Lakers losing. Something happened for him to leave.
I don't know, but we'll see. Right now, that's just the rumor that it's something, but maybe we're stretching and we're just trying to look for something because that's how the media is.
I think you women stretch out.
Whoa!
You guys look into
Go
things
ahead.
a little
let
too
me
deep.
go
I'm
ahead.
just saying.
You're not winning.
Folletti,
You're not winning
You're
this one.
stereotyping.
Real quick,
like.
I muted him. He's dumb right now. So
Oh,
he's
welcome
muted.
to my game.
You beat the
That was
record.
quick.
You
That
beat the
was
record.
quick.
We've not even been on air for like 10 minutes and you already got muted. Somebody that's a record, Maria. He beat you right there.
Wow.
No, what I was gonna say is actually this information was given to me by a man. Okay. Actually a teammate of mine, a male. I'm not gonna say his name, but he's the one that put this information in my ear. So that's how I know of any of these rumors. So don't even start with you women. First of all, you will get escorted out this building if you say some stupid shit like that. Rob, give me applause for that one. I'm gonna have to give that applause is for me. I'm gonna go ahead and have to
Applaud myself.
applaud myself and then boo Folletti. Don't get kicked out of here. Anyways, that wraps up today's Cheese Man. Don't start on my show, Felitti. That's my show. I'm gonna fucking mute your ass.
Damn.
I have the power.
I got muted.
Yes, you
Oh,
did.
wait.
Yes, you did. All right. So, next segment is the game time. So the next segment is game time. That's right. So this segment is, yeah. Hold on a minute. Okay, so today we're playing Truth or Shot. We're gonna put Felitti on the hot seat right there. Truth or Shot. So the way you play this game is we ask you a question, and if you don't want to answer it, all you have to do is take a shot. And if you don't want to take a shot, all you gotta do is answer it. Boom. That easy. Don't worry, it's not gonna be that crazy.
I don't know. I mean,
This ain't a setup. This ain't a setup.
This ain't a setup, yeah. Caller. We have you on the line. No, I'm just kidding. I would not do you like that.
Ryan's roses.
Ryan's Rose.
yeah, they got that out here.
Oh, that's
Damn.
hilarious. We should make a new one for myself over here. No, so Maria, this question is for you. Truth or shot? Here we go. Have you ever been handcuffed?
Of course.
Fuck? Look at Felitti's face, so confused. He said, "What do you mean, of course?"
You've never been handcuffed?
Bruh.
You've been messing with the wrong one for that.
What? Bondage.
That's okay. I guess you don't have to explain yourself
I'm
because
just
that's
saying.
that's not part of the question. So you answered it. Shout out to you.
Being handcuffed, reaching ecstasy, not being able to do nothing. Woo! Jesus!
Dear Lord. Okay.
Oh, wait.
You're about to get muted.
Woo!
You're about to get muted. All right. Sounds fun. All right. So the next question is for Myra. Myra, you ready? Truth or shot? Here we go. We haven't to ask the question first.
Okay.
Myra already reaching out.
She's like, shot.
Don't even ask the question. Shot.
She's like, shot. Have you ever farted during sex?
Maybe.
No, she queefed.
Yes. That counts.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
Jackie looks
You know what?
No, I'm looking at what? No. With the, oh my gosh. Oh God. That's hilarious. Ron's in the chat box. Hey Ron, what's going on?
Did he finally get his
Yeah, Ron,
shirt?
actually I was just gonna let you know. Make sure you
I
check,
know, right? Before we start
make
the
sure
show.
you let your check the mailbox. We sent it yesterday, so you should be getting it soon.
Take a picture and tag us, Ron, please.
Ron said queef, LOL. All right, Felitti, you ready?
Let's do this.
All right.
Let's do this.
I'm going to give you an easy one.
Please. Please.
Where's the craziest place you've ever had sex?
The craziest?
Yeah, the craziest for Felitti.
Man.
I kind of know the answer to one of these.
Oh, shit.
So don't lie. So don't
Because
lie.
you told me. Because you told me.
What?
Okay, well, okay. You say yours, and I'm going to compare it to the answer you gave me once.
Out in public.
You said it wasn't a setup, huh?
Right? Like,
Okay, it's the same thing, I guess.
Yeah,
but you had told
out
me
in
the
public.
movie theaters once, and I was like, how are
Yeah,
you doing in the
movie theaters.
movie theaters?
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's crazy.
You know, just.
I don't think I could do it in the movie theaters unless it's like empty.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
If it's like a crowd house, like up in there, like it's like a box office release, I cannot.
We're
How do
gonna
you
have
do
to
that?
talk after the show because I've always wondered what that looks like.
What
so
looks like?
what your craziest place? I've always wondered what that looks like.
You mean in the movie theater?
Yeah.
Apparently, I think she had like a dress or a skirt, and she just sat on your lap. That was it.
Oh, no.
No?
Nah. Just took the pants off and.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
What?
was it full? Or did you guys choose like an empty movie?
No, it was pretty full. It's pretty full.
Damn.
You weren't like worried that people were.
I didn't
like,
care.
What the hell?
Yeah.
I was horny as hell. So.
She was
Hey,
that sexy.
facts right
I
there.
mean-
Facts.
I actually was not me. I was at the movie theater with
I was looking at her because she holding her head. I'm like, oh, this must be her story.
No, she'd be like, damn, girl. let me piggyback off.
Liar.
No, I was at the movie theater not too long ago with my kids. And there was a couple.
Yeah.
There was a couple next to me. My kids were on the other side of me, but they were next to me with the freaking blanket. And it was those fancy ones where it lifts up and then you can sit. They were both reclined, and she had her butt tooted towards him, and they had the blanket over them. And I'm like, oh my God, you got to.
And you were sitting right next to them?
Yes, but my kids were on the other side of me, and I'm like, this isn't cool. Like, it wasn't even like an adult movie.
Yeah.
It was a movie that were,
That's not cool.
you know?
Okay, yeah. You should not do that with the kids. Like a kid.
I'm
movie.
surprised you
It
sat
was-
through it. You cochina.
It was like Aladdin or something.
They were trying to, she was trying to pretend like she was asleep, but I knew what the hell they were doing.
Oh my God, that sucks. That sucks.
Did you watch the movie?
Yeah.
Which
The
I
one?
movie they were
wouldn't know.
making.
Which one?
I wouldn't know. I would have been like,
Oh my God, that might be my new favorite one right there. The sound effects. That was from the Get Right. The Get Right has so many good sound effects on there. Shout out to the Get Right. They are come live on Sundays at 10 a.m. here on the Good News studio. All right, that wraps up game time. Good job, guys. You guys did good. I'm proud of y'all.
That's it? Just one round?
Yeah. Because Folletti over there looking real nervous. No, we're good. We're good. That wraps it up. So we're going to go ahead, and we were going to go into Mighty's Minute, but she's on the road, and she's not here. Yeah. I'll say this. She says, Congresswoman slams big pharma over insane prices for insulin, Nipsey Hussle celebration of life, and U.S. Congress record and City Hall. Those were going to be her topics, but I don't know. We're going to have to wait for next week to see what she says. And that wraps up Mighty's Minute.
that was like 30 seconds. Yay! That was like
That's all she put. That's all she put. I told her to put it in. I was like, I will just have like Myra or Maria read it. But I guess, she wanted to call in, but she probably forgot about it. She's probably drunk somewhere in North Carolina.
Hey, I'm
I don't
about
blame
that.
her. What time is it over there right now?
I don't know. Shit. Somebody mention.
Come on, Maria.
Hey,
I'm just going to be messing with these sound effects. This is hilarious.
I'm loving it.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump into tonight's topic. What? All right, so I'm excited about this topic because it's my city. So pretty much today's topic is growing up in LA and why is cultural diversity important. So they're going to go hand in hand, but we're going to start off with, growing up in LA. So growing up in LA, I don't think most people are aware of how lucky you are until you travel to other places that aren't infused with the different cultures and richness of diversity that we have here. What made me think of this topic definitely came from me standing in the middle of intersection of Manchester Boulevard and La Brea in the sea of people who surrounded me as we all patiently waited to pay our respects to Nipsey Hussle and his family. The unity and love that the city felt last night was incredible and beautiful. It represented everything Nipsey stood for and what most people hope for. But even with so many cultures and backgrounds in the city, there are still people who don't explore and just stay among their own culture and race. And we're definitely going to get into that. I'm going to ask you guys later, why you think that is, and also if that's a good thing or bad thing. So just start, let that sink in so we can talk about that later. But right now we're going to jump into, of course, growing up in LA, which I think all of us here, all of us did for sure grow up in LA, and how that experience was for us. So I'm going to start off and ask you guys, what's your favorite thing about living in LA? I'm going to start off with Maria, because I think you're the oldest one here. So you got more
Palefi.
So you got more time. You got more time here on Earth, so you got.
Oh man. Okay, so I want to say for sure the palm trees. I love driving down certain streets that have palm trees, but most of all, for me, growing up, I'm kind of thankful in the areas that our parents brought us up in, because it really made me not only be humble, but know the game. It's a proud moment, not only if you come from LA, but if you come from the communities that are hard hit by diversity in LA. Now working in a school environment where the community is the first community that I remember in my childhood.
Was Hawthorne?
Yes.
Yeah, Hawthorne.
You know, like prostitutes. I want to say we lived across the street from Samoan family, and it was like between us and the Samoan family.
First of all,
Why'd
he's
you look at me?
he's
I'm not even Samoan.
Maria.
I thought he was.
He's not
The
Samoan. He's Tongan. So
See, that's what I'm talking about. See, like,
you're so disrespectful.
that
Ignorant
is
to the
extremely
fact. So
disrespectful.
Well, that's a different topic, but I'm just saying, like,
We're gonna get into that.
yeah,
Actually,
that's
later.
a different topic.
No,
but I'm just saying,
really quick, like wrap it up, Cardi, because you're going long.
because you know, growing up in
Philosophical.
that type of an environment, and you know, between like just the different foods, the different dynamics,
Yeah.
the different, you know, like culture, and being raised in a diverse type of area, like that's legitly life. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like where my parents live now, like our neighbors, yeah, we know each other. You know, like here, like
It's
maybe
getting
next
better.
door, it's getting better, but it's not when you are raised in that LA environment from those type of communities where I want to say what is like middle class to middle to low class, that we really are more involved and more like, you know, people know each other more. Like you respect the game a little bit more.
Right.
And one thing that I did hear, or I have been hearing, is that people from LA, and I'm not putting no other, you know, state or whatever down, but people or city, but people from LA, we just connect more. Like it's much more different and powerful.
It's hard
like,
for you to say that only because you haven't lived in other cities as far as like out of California. Because LA is just, you know, I'm going to get into that because I've gone to visit other places. I've gone to Milwaukee, Oregon, Texas, like Colorado. I've gone a lot of places. And, you know, that's kind of why I want to bring up LA. Just because for sure it's diverse. It's like one of the most diverse cities out there. But, yeah, we don't because you've never lived in another. That's why I want to get to Feletti because Feletti, he actually moved now. He doesn't live in LA anymore, but he grew up. So I definitely want to get a feel of his answer. Like, what is like your favorite thing before answering? Comparing? What's your favorite thing about like when you lived in LA?
The beach.
The beach.
The beach.
That's it.
Oh yeah. I'm a beach bum, so the beach.
Yeah, and I mean, right now where you live, there's no water like things like amusement parks or lakes.
Nah,
or...
the nearest ocean, well, the Pacific, obviously, but it's like 2 hours away.
Damn.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's the
and we take
coast.
it for
it's not
granted.
a beach. It's the coast.
Did you take it for granted when it was here?
No.
No.
I was always at the beach.
You were there all the time?
Mhm.
Okay. What about you, Myra? What's your favorite thing or like about living in LA?
Everything about LA is makes me proud. I grew up in South Central LA, so I mean, no matter where I go, where I moved to, I lived in Hawthorne. Now I live in Bellflower. My roots are LA. Me waking up, having to catch public transportation to get to school. Me walking through all these neighborhoods, literally experiencing the core of what LA really is.
Yeah.
I can truly say I am a LA native, and I mean, you know, to live and die in LA, like Tupac said. But it makes me completely proud just to be born in LA. Like I'm not just like LA, I'm like from the hood LA. So, you know, I mean, everything about LA just makes me proud. When I say I'm from LA, I'm proud of it. And my kids are raised in Lakewood, Bellflower, and Sean, who wasn't raised in LA, says, he tells all his friends, oh yeah, I'm from LA, because he was born in LA. So he's proud of LA, and he wasn't even raised in LA.
I feel it, but you passed down that love, and
That's it.
And when
And
they
it
go
was-
visit grandma, and they visit, you know, your
Yeah, they're in
sister,
LA
they're
every
in
other
LA.
weekend, so, I mean-
they are in LA because that's kind of my story too. Because yes, me and Maria are sisters, but we grew up at a different time. Like there's 8 of us, so her experience is a lot different from my experience. Because I said she's like way older than me.
I'll take it.
No, I'm just kidding. No, we actually get mistaken a lot. So she looks young for her age, but no.
You're trying to clean it up, man. Now you're making it worse.
What does that mean?
I just like how you're like laughing when she said I look young for my age. Good Lord.
Yeah, like you don't. Wow. It's not a compliment. I'm just saying. Like, she keeps digging.
Digging a hole.
Yep.
I'm just kidding. I say it out of jokes, out of love, but no, she does. And so what I was gonna say is that like, the house I was born into was a house right there on Imperial and I want to say Prairie. It's right behind Theo's Tacos, and I lived there until I was 5. And that's the house that she was talking about in Hawthorne that had like like prostitutes like a block away from us. It's like that's the stuff that my parents wanted to get us away from, which is when they moved to Westchester.
Best tacos, by the way.
Best tacos, right?
Yes.
And that's what I try to tell Keith. Keith, if you're listening, I'm telling you, try their tongue tacos, tacos de lengua. They're they're bomb. Yep. He's like never gonna try it, but anyways, so I try to tell people that's like that's the spot for tacos. That's where I used to live. That house right behind them. My dad ended up selling that house to them, to the owners of Theo's Tacos, and so now they have all that. But that's where I was born, and then we moved to Westchester, and that was like my thing. But like Sean. When you guys go back to LA, he's around there. So whenever we'd go back, all our family was in Inglewood. My grandparents, my tias, my sister Sandra was living at this spot where Maria lived at eventually. So like I was like always in Inglewood, but I lived in Westchester. I went to Westchester High, and so my experience is a lot different from how Maria grew up. But at the same time, my favorite thing about LA is the diversity. Definitely the different cultures. I mean, if it wasn't like, I love meeting people. Like, if it wasn't for that, if I just stayed with my own like culture, I would have never met this crazy guy who is not Samoan. He's actually Tongan. And it's okay.
That's the ignorance. I'm sorry for that.
No,
Can we stop this stuff? Like, what the hell
Hey,
is this?
Maria, I thought you were gonna say, I mean, shit, same thing, because that's the face she made.
Those were your thoughts.
I know the difference. Trust,
No.
but still, it looked like she was gonna say that.
What our neighbors
I
across
would've
the street on
laughed.
Westchester, what were they?
Say again?
The neighbors across the street, were they Hawaiian or Samoans? Maybe that's probably why you said
Across the street in Westchester were Hawaiian.
Hawaiian, right?
But
Okay.
in Hawthorne, I don't. Now I feel ignorant. I don't even know
Well,
if,
no,
if they
don't,
were
because
Samoan or they were.
Let me tell you
Tongan.
why. Because you know how many
I don't even know
times,
how to tell the difference.
You know how many times that people think that all Latinos are Mexican. It's kind of a similar thing. So that's just kind of like our joke thing, because it's like,
Don't even start.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like everybody's like, oh, everybody's Mexican, but
Is
like,
there a way to differentiate that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Samoans,
and go ahead.
Samoans look more Asian. So the eyes are tighter,
Okay.
noses are bigger, they're lighter skin, and their hair is straighter. They have better hair than us.
I can see
The
that
Samoans.
because I have an aunt who's from Samoa.
Yeah.
And her, just the way you defined it, that's what she looks like.
And so that's why I don't think we should get offended. I think because I don't get offended when people think like I'm anything else, or like I don't understand why people who are Salvadorian. I mean, one thing, I'm not Salvadorian, but like I can't feel what they're feeling. But it's hard for me to understand why you really get that mad when somebody thinks you're Mexican. Like, just correct them. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not them, and I am Mexican. But also another thing that I appreciate is like the different foods that we have here. We have the best Mexican food here. Besides, I mean, we've always had it because we're Mexican. But I'm just saying, like anywhere else at restaurants, and then I can find like all types of food. Mediterranean, Greek food is like my favorite food out of all the foods.
Shelly's too.
I love Greek food and just stuff like that. And then all the of the things that we have here, the history here, it's like so amazing. So
Yeah.
I love LA for everything it is. Kind of like what Myra said. Like I rep LA so hard. I love my city. All my sports teams is LA, and that's what I'm trying to create, that like energy, because I've gone to New Orleans and they're all about their football team, and I can't wait to bring that energy to LA, and hopefully more people join the Rams fans.
So I have a question. You were raised in Inglewood, right? Or
Westchester, but I was always in Inglewood. Kind of like when you take Sean back to visit LA, it's kind of like that. But Westchester's right neighbors to Inglewood. We're right there.
Because I've met a lot of people who are from Inglewood and they will never admit LA, or like people that are from Long Beach and will never say that they're from LA, or Compton would never admit that they don't like it. It's like a whole different.
And that's what we're going to talk about too, because LA has a stigma to it, because LA is now like considered like Hollywood LA. So when people think, oh, you're from LA, like people who are like transplants, they think like, oh, you're Hollywood LA, you're fake, you're bougie, you're this, you're that. So
But even
LA has a
before-
really bad energy, bad like rap to it. And I think Snoop Dogg put Long Beach on the map.
Like people from Compton will never say they're from LA. This guy says he's from Lenox.
Lennox. I mean, there's no rapper from Lennox, is there?
No.
What the hell?
Because I was trying to use the example like Kendrick Lamar, like The Game, they repped Compton. Snoop Dogg reps what's it called, Long Beach. So I mean, I think like sometimes artists give you that, remind you of the pride in your city, just like Nipsey Hussle reminded everybody of their love and pride for the city of LA, and that's what I was trying to get at. My producer over here telling me I'm off topic. It goes with it, okay? Be quiet. It's not.
Jesus.
Because we're still on the topic of favorite things, and favorite things has to do with rappers because that's what it is.
I think she needs a meeting outside.
I'm sure she'll enjoy it if you give it to her.
Whoa. Wait, where's my favorite one right now?
Long as I got keys.
Hallelujah.
Yes, amen.
Oh, God. But all right, so we're going to go ahead and go on to the next one. What's your least favorite thing about LA? Maria, we're going to start with you. This is an easy one.
For me, it's all the drive-bys.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I can see that. All right, Feletti,
What the fuck? What,
No, I was going to say traffic. That's why. And I was like, that's easy.
We all got, what the hell is it, a trivia question? We all got our own answers.
Yeah, mine is traffic, definitely, but we deal with it. We don't care. We're from LA, so it's like second nature to us. To me, it's the trash. We need to take care of our city more.
Oh, yeah.
We really need to take care of our city more.
Oh, if you're going to go there, then I say potholes.
Okay, now.
LA can't take rain.
No, I literally have to change my
And
tires.
it's been raining like fucking cats and dogs lately, so we've been...
It's supposed to rain.
I just found out, while you're looking at me crazy, I just found out that we could cuss on this motherfucker. So, I'm having a ball today.
I just told Keith that you just found out that we can curse, and now you've been going crazy
All
with it.
this time, I've been like trying to clear it up, speak properly.
That's a good thing about the Good News Radio. You can.
Yeah.
It's an independent
You
radio
don't know.
station. You can say and do whatever you want.
So, fuck that shit.
Fuck the potholes.
Kosi looking at me crazy. Let me sit down.
Oh, wait. Man.
Oh my God.
real up in here.
Right. And until we get picked up, and then we're not going to be able to curse.
Okay, well, I better tame myself.
Yeah, no, you should use it up until you can. You know what I mean? Feletti, what about you? What's your least favorite thing about LA?
Oh, man. I can't say that I have a least favorite.
Really?
Really. I mean, I love everything
You
about
love
LA.
the potholes?
I love everything. That's what makes LA. It gives us character. All the gangs. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you look at it, gangs, it's just like a family. So, like, me growing up where I grew up, there was a crap load of gangs growing up in Lenox.
I bet.
But I don't know, man. I think that's what makes LA LA.
I guess it does. It wouldn't be LA without all that, for sure. It would be different. But I mean, I can do without the shootings, with the killings and stuff.
Yeah.
The violence like that.
I mean, what's the difference between that and the shit that they feed us? So
you choose to buy that. You can, I mean, it's going to cost you more, but you can definitely choose to be healthier.
What?
Oh, yeah, you
What?
can definitely be healthier.
So I was just watching this thing.
I know it's hard.
What?
Anyways, okay. All right. Well, I was going to say the traffic for sure. Traffic is like my least favorite thing here. Fucking hate traffic. You're so dumb. I hate you.
Kosi's getting tired of
I
it.
know.
It's so bad that when there's no traffic, you're wondering what the fuck is going on
What's
around
going
here.
on?
You're
It seems
what?
creepy.
Like on my way here, I'm like, why the hell is there a big ass gap between here and here? What the hell?
It did seem empty, right?
Yes.
And La Brea
I'm-
was so empty when
I'm
I got
Googling.
here.
I have to Google like what is going on around here.
I literally left my house at like almost 6:40, and I was like, "Dang, I'm gonna get there exactly at like 7:30, or probably be late." I got here at 7 o'clock. I got here like in 10-15 minutes.
Yeah,
No
I was set
traffic.
to be here at 7:15. That's a record.
That is a record for you.
It's the first, I haven't been on time since the first
Hey,
show.
last show, she got here like 10 minutes after the show.
Oh yeah, I saw the
The video,
I saw
remember?
That. I saw the
like,
video.
oh, welcome to the show. Yeah.
like, wow.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
I
You know,
made it. I
Myra's,
made it though.
Myra's the co-host that can, she do what she want.
Right, I blame it on my kids.
She don't even got to do a question of the night. I got to do some shit.
She could, but is it still Myra's question of the night?
Yes, I still call it Myra's question of the night, even though Myra's not here or sent me shit. Like tonight's question is gonna be my question.
Hey
but-
man, I'm trying to
I said, Myra, do you have a question about that?
I had a question, but
It's all right. So Mark is in the chat box. I see you, Mark. Shout out to you. You're going to be here next Friday. Can't wait. The ladies are excited. He says, I love LA because of the variety of things you can experience. The people, the sports team, the fact that I know that this is a destination city that a lot of folks back east never get to see in person. And only, thanks for moving that. Who is moving that? I'm trying to read it. And only see on TV. Why are you moving if I'm reading it? You are so wrong for that. I'm going to mute you.
I'm not even talking.
No, yeah, Mark is actually not from LA either. I believe, I want to say he's from, this is going to be horrible. I think he's from Minnesota. I could be wrong. I'm sorry, Mark. I forgot. But yeah, he's new to LA. He's been here only.
He's from Detroit.
He said that?
Right here.
Okay, he's from Detroit. See, I was way off. So that's so true. A lot of people that don't live in LA or nowhere near it, it's like something magical or something different, or they're just, I think it's one of those spots that a lot of people want to come to, and that's why the city is filled with transplants, which I'm gonna get into that later, not right now. But the next thing we're gonna talk about for growing up in LA is like stereotypes of LA. So I want you guys kind of mention some of the stereotypes that LA has. What do you think, Myra? Just name like one or two.
Stereotypes? I don't know. We have a ton of them. Everybody's is
Hollywood,
superficial. Maybe? Yeah, they think
Superficial.
everybody from LA is superficial.
Yep.
You're not?
No.
Wait, you said
I'm
you're
bad
not?
as that. I'm bad as that.
Oh my
I'm
God.
as real as they come,
Shift
bruh.
the gears.
I'm
Shift
about
the
as real
gears.
as they come.
First of all, you're from LA too, Faletti. I don't know what you would fall under that.
Oh, yeah. I'm just
So
talking
you're
about this one.
you're
Don't be
superficial.
talking about me.
No, we all the same in here. No, seriously. Another thing I heard is like we're all like health, like what is it called?
Vegans. We're all
Health
vegans.
gurus or vegans and stuff.
That's the shit they see on Instagram.
We get sun all the time, and this year we can say that we've been receiving damn rain, so we're not sunny all the
Yeah,
time.
we received rain a few months.
Hell yeah, like back
Right,
to
all the
back.
time.
No, this
you guys say
year.
a few months?
No,
We're spoiled. We're
okay,
spoiled
so
for
for me,
sure.
it feels like all the time. Like I feel that from I want to say maybe January all the way up until now, we've had rain at least 5 times a month, at least. That's
Look, don't even try. Okay, he now lives in Oregon. I'm sure Oregon gets rain
what
a
I'm
lot.
saying. We don't
But
get that on this side of town.
One of the stereotypes about LA is that we don't know how to drive in the rain.
I can say that is
That's
true.
not a stereotype.
That is
That's a
true.
fact.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Okay,
It really
okay.
irritates me when it rains.
Okay, so really quick. So when it rains, you say you don't know how to drive in the rain. Are people driving too slow or too fast for you?
Too scary.
What do you mean too
yeah.
scary?
It's scary.
So that
in the
mean they're
rain.
driving slow?
They're just driving scared
So
to change
slow.
lanes. Scared, yeah. Well, slow, fast. Some of them.
We are driving safe. Some of us are driving safe. However, we have other LA people that feel like they're so confident that they're driving the fucking rain and they're just.
That's
fucking
true, too.
zooming.
But
And
look-
then you have the rest of us
So-
that are driving.
But listen,
slow.
you have to understand that, okay, since it does not rain in LA, this is what people I want you to understand. When
The
it's
oil, yes.
There's oils in the street, so
Yeah.
you have to slow down. And you can't get mad at the people who are driving carefully and slow
Right.
because they
Don't
know.
get mad at me because
People
I'm driving
from-
20 miles per hour.
That's true, right?
It's
Go
fucking
past.
raining.
People from LA already drive
Cozy,
crazy,
20 miles an hour.
and we don't switch
that's,
up in the rain.
That's like
Wait,
residential.
hold on. Wait, no side conversation. Hold on. What'd you
So
say?
people from LA, and I got this from my sister who came from Utah, and she hung out with me for a whole week. And when I was driving, she's like, "Oh my God, Myra, you're so close. You stopped so close." I'm like, "Girl, like we know, right?" And so I think with us, we drive crazy regardless. This is just LA. We that's just how we get by. We know the routes. We are in the right lane. We get past everybody, but in the rain, we still do the same shit.
Yeah.
That's how it is. So I guess that's what they call we don't know how to drive in the rain because we don't switch it up. We keep riding the same.
Yeah.
True. But okay. What about you, Maria?
I think I've heard that New York and LA drivers are the worst, right? Because it's so much traffic and we're just like everywhere, in and out, dipping. But in the rain, I feel like drivers, and it's not even so much that they're trying to be careful, they just don't know. They get scared, so much, because we get flooded in LA when it rains. We get flooded in LA when it rains. So people get scared. They're like too scared to switch lanes, go fast, go slow. I mean, I don't know.
What happened?
More stereotypes, right?
Oh, yeah, read them for me.
Oh, Michael said gangbangers if you're an African American male from LA.
That's
and then
true.
He also said, you know, they're too Hollywood. LA people are Hollywood. That's all we got right now.
Sorry, I'm like trying to. We didn't have internet for a minute, so I had to open up my
Anna
phone.
says New York doesn't care about pedestrians.
That's true, but at the same time, like you gotta know how to live, like walk in New York for sure. New York is a whole nother freaking world over there.
Different world.
Did you live in New York too, Feletti?
I did.
For how long?
I lived there for 2 years, and then I lived there for another year last year, 2 years ago.
So, what are some stereotypes of LA that you've heard?
Gangbangers.
Gangbangers.
The driving
Everybody's a gangbanger.
Everybody's a gangbanger.
Because you live now in Oregon, so when you tell them you're from LA, what is like? They thought you were in a gang.
Well, Oregonians hate Californians.
What did you wait? Say that again.
Oregonians?
Oregonians.
Yeah.
Oregonians.
Oregonians. That's what they like to call themselves.
I've never heard that.
'Cause
kind of like how people call us
Californians?
Angelinos.
Well, no, they don't.
Californians.
Californians?
I think the hipsters say Angelinos, right? I don't really say Angelino. I think that's a hipster thing.
Like they don't like people from California.
They don't.
They hate us.
Why do Oregonians or whatever
Oregonians?
Oregonians hate people from LA?
Sound like some Harry Potter shit.
Specifically, I know, right? Specifically LA or just all of California?
All of California.
They don't like anybody from California.
Nope.
Why?
Because Californians sell their homes, move out there, buy their property, and save some money at the same time.
So they're just being haters.
They're just being haters.
Haters.
Because
They drive the
can't
cost
afford
of
to
living.
live here.
They drive the cost of living up in Oregon.
Because so many people moved out there?
So many people from California.
But-
you too, huh? You're one of them. Do they hate
You're
you?
one of them. They
But
hate
in
you.
Oregon, is it
I don't care about that.
Feletti in Oregon? Is
I
it
embrace
racist?
Hell no. No.
It's like
Not at all.
hippie-ish out there.
It's hippie.
It's like a hippie-ish kind of a city. I went out there. Did you come with us when we had to go train for like the motorcycles out there?
Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah. I went to Oregon because we had to train out there. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. Everybody was kind of like chill.
Oregon's nice.
It is nice. I liked it. It was like a lot of greenery.
Now there is a city out there, the Dales. It's all like KKK land.
Shut up.
Yeah, like the high school there is they're the Grandmasters.
In
Like,
Oregon?
Yeah, like dragons and everything. We're talking about
wow.
full on.
But you know what? There's
yeah.
KKKs in the freaking OC.
No, but we're talking
There's
about the
KKKs
entire city.
the whole city. So you're
Yeah.
not. You shouldn't even go there. So
Don't
if I
even
went
go
to go visit, never go to Daly,
Dales.
Dales.
Mhm.
What would happen to me if I went to Dales?
Yeah, not good things.
Really? So have
Yeah.
you ever like gone out there? They just
I went out there for one of my son's football games.
shut
Yeah.
up.
And we're talking about fans saying "f you," the N words and stuff like
Oh,
that.
they thought you guys were black.
Well, no, they're just the whole team. My son's whole team is black. So we're talking about fans and everything. It's crazy out there.
Wow.
Man, that's crazy. That is insane. There was more stereotypes. I had it here. I don't know where it went. I was gonna say it, and I was gonna ask you guys if they're true, but they're not here. If you guys are in the chat box, make sure you guys let us know what your stereotypes are. Or Peter said haters are gonna hate. He's talking about you and the Oregonians or whatever.
Oregonians?
Whatever, dude. I'm just gonna say people from Oregon.
Yeah, Oregonians. What is it called?
Oregonian.
Oregonian.
You know, like Californian. You know.
So
Oregonian.
Ron is in the chat box. Ron is from Canada, I believe, right, Ron? He says, one thing I will never forget about LA, we take a bus from airport, mom, sis, and her boyfriend. We are some central bus terminal and go outside to get a taxi. We're in the city for 1 hour while waiting for the cab. There is some guy hanging out at the terminal exit. We had eye contact. He blew a kiss at me. I love LA.
That's right, Ron.
We're friendly.
We're very friendly, for sure. And everyone in LA is so like laid back. Like that's why they call it La La Land. Like we're in no rush. We're like chill. Would
Yeah.
you guys say that's true or?
I think there's a lot more acceptance too out here, like especially with like LGBTQ and all this stuff, as opposed to like other places. We're like pretty open to all that stuff for sure.
But that's a good stereotype.
Yeah, it's a great stereotype.
Peter
Sorry.
says that they say we're too slow. compared to
I disagree.
not mentally slow, but like
no, I know what
chill,
he's
laid
talking
back.
about.
Like
We're fast.
no, like go getters. Because if people in New York, it's a fast paced city. We're more
Faster than us. Yes,
Yes.
I
Oh,
agree.
yeah.
New York beats us, but we, for the most part, are not slow.
Because we have a lot of traffic. That's why.
I know we're chill,
It's
and we
for
got
everybody to get
cars.
places.
You can drive everywhere in LA. We're definitely spoiled with driving in LA.
No, the traffic in New York is worse than LA, by far.
And no
Oh
one
yeah,
drives
but nobody
though,
can
right?
drive. Everybody has to take the subway. Like, and everybody. When I say everybody, it's like if it doesn't matter if you make like 200 grand a year or like 10 grand. Like you know,
Subway's the way to go.
everybody does a subway. Just the other day, I saw a YouTube video where I think Ben Stiller was on the subway, and this fan like freaked out. She's like, "Oh my God, you're that guy!" And he was just taking the subway like everybody else. It's just that type of energy. I literally saw J Lo and her boyfriend Casper at the time when I went to New York, and they were just walking the street like nothing. So I guess just it's that vibe in New York. LA, we're fucking spoiled. We have to drive everywhere. I gotta go around the block. Yeah, I'm driving.
Uber.
Uber to 5 minutes. Yeah, we're freaking Ubering. But another one that somebody said is that people think we go to the beach every day. Well, damn, Michael, if we could, we would, but we gotta work.
Sometimes.
Right? Would you go to the beach every day?
Every day.
Every day.
I would. I can't wait till it starts warming up more so I can be there every day off.
Man, I can't
Yeah.
wait. Summertime. Okay, that was horrible.
Summertime.
That was in my head, but that's not what it came out.
Right.
That was in your head?
She
Yeah.
Maria got you.
Yeah, she got me. Thank you. All right, so
Handcuffs.
with that, do not get them excited. They're calm
Word
right
of
now.
the night. Every time you hear handcuffs, take a drink. Don't
Hey.
drive.
Oh,
Don't
wait.
drink and drive. Cheers.
You don't tell me twice. I take a shot.
Coasties like.
There's his shot.
Come on now, you're not drinking
What the hell
tonight,
is this?
Faletti.
Ooh.
Faletti, you're on Ladies Night Radio.
Yeah,
Oh,
You're in LA. You're in the good news. You got to take a shot.
Come on, Faletti.
and that's a baby shot.
What did you give him? Tequila or
Whiskey.
whiskey? This is wild turkey.
Let me get some whiskey.
You
That
did
is
get
whiskey.
that.
I know I'm not taking shots. I want to sip.
You can sip
Well,
it.
sip on. I'll pour some more then.
Yeah, pour
All
some
right,
more.
go ahead.
Stop
All
being
right.
greedy.
Go ahead and
That's
sip.
some greedy.
Sip your little drink then.
Sip your little drink.
Go
Stingy
ahead and
with the
sip your
drinks.
little drink.
If you're in the chat box, let me know what you guys like about LA, what you hate about it, and some of the stereotypes. Everybody does yoga apparently in LA. Everybody is a health nut in LA. It's all about looks in LA. These are stereotypes that are just coming to my head that I can think of right now.
It's not all about
That one's
it's
true,
about
though.
convenience.
Which one?
All about looks.
Convenience and all that.
Well, that's Hollywood LA.
It's about
In the hood, you
convenience.
think it's like that?
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
it's like it's always been like that.
It's always been that. I mean,
It
that's
has. Everyone's always competing with each other in LA.
always.
There's always somebody competing.
I understand why you're saying that, but when you say that, it makes me think like I'm not competing with anybody in this fucking room.
No, we're not speaking.
No, it's not like
We're
that.
not
What she's trying
speaking
to say.
specifically about you.
Yeah.
Neither am
I don't think anybody in this room is like
Yeah.
that. I think what it
But
is.
we're-
When you say like everybody in LA is competing,
We're talking about
with each other, like,
stereotypes.
How can we change that?
Well,
How can we change that? Like, how can we show that not all of us are competing
Well,
with each other?
Well,
Yeah.
we're not competing with each other.
Nobody's
So-
competing in here. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely different. LA, like the Hollywood scene, I
Yeah.
would say, yeah, because everybody, wants to be on reality. Now with Instagram, everybody's Insta famous.
Everybody on there's more, yeah, especially on the internet.
But anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and jump into why cultural diversity is important. So growing up, were you raised around people of different cultures or mostly your own culture? And this question goes out to everybody. I want you to think about that. Just to kind of, I'll start it off. I was born, you guys heard, I was born in Hawthorne, then I moved to Westchester. At the time, Westchester is filled with like a lot of like white people. And so I lived in a neighborhood all white. I went to a school that was predominantly black. And then I played sports for the Little League that was predominantly white and Asian. The only time I was around Latinos was my family, and we were always there. My parents were very strict, so it was either home or like family parties. So I got a little bit of like everybody, and so that's why I say like my experience from Maria's is a lot different. So I was very exposed to different cultures right away, especially because since my parents were so strict, the only way for me to get out the house was through sports. And I played sports all year long since I was 5 years old. And because I knew that like I couldn't leave the house, that the only way I could leave if I played sports, I literally played all year long. I was on sports, Little League, All Stars. Like, I literally played from 5 years old until I was like 18 and I went off to college.
Super old school.
Right. And that was the only way. And to get out the house. And I freaking loved it. But I played with I played with Hawaiian, I played with Samoans, I played with white, I played with Asians, I played with all different types of culture, and it exposed me through the sports. The sports definitely exposed me. School, I went to a school predominantly black, and there was Latinos there, and I did hang out with them. But I was very fortunate to be around all these different cultures, and I appreciate it. It's made me who I am, and it's also made me want to continue to know different types of culture. Like, when I meet people from different cultures, like I'm intrigued and I ask questions. And I remember having a conversation with you, Feletti, not too long ago, because I remember I was like, yo, I remember I seen like a hot, like, I didn't know if he was Tongan or Samoan, but I was like, yo, you got any single cousins? Just messing with him. And he was like, oh, Jackwall, you do not want to date any of my cousins. And he had to explain to me like the way that his culture is, and he knows me personally. He knows how I am. He's like, you would not be able to handle. And I was like, wait, why? And
it's rough.
He told me like, and so like hearing, and I love hearing about different cultures, and nowhere did I like ever like, if I don't agree with something, I won't like ever like disrespect it. I'm open to it. I wonder why it's like that. And then it's just kind of like, and that's going to go into my next question, is also like, do you change who you are if you like? So I hang out with a lot of like white people, right? When I was playing the league. So obviously I was on like, not house arrest, but my parents were strict and they wouldn't let me go, but they had so much freedom. So I would be comparing myself like, hey, like, Stephanie can go to her friend, like to the family anytime she wants. Why can't I go? And I would tell my mom, like, they're all going to Jessica's house after. Why can't I go? And it was just like, she don't play that. Like, Mexican mom, sorry, we do things differently here. You're not going. And I was like, dang. So it was a little different for me. So I would do a lot of comparison. I would do a lot of types of like trying to figure out like, well, what traditions? Because I know that's also another thing. Are traditions being broken, or like, do we question things and do we change it? And then there's a lot of Latinos that don't speak Spanish, so we'll get more into that. But I want to go ahead and ask you, Feletti. Growing up, were you around different cultures, or were you mostly around people of your culture?
No, I mean, I grew up in Lenox, and there was nothing but Hispanics, Mexicans, Guatemalans, Salvadorians. That was it. There was like 2 Caucasian families. There were literally 3 black families growing up. So it was all Latinos growing up in LA. But it was crazy because you grow up in LA and you grow up in that environment. You have old school parents that didn't let you go out and do things, right? But then my friends' parents did the same exact thing. So we didn't interact with each other until we got to school.
Wait, you didn't interact with the Latinos?
Why didn't you interact with anybody? Like, when you're at home, you couldn't go outside.
Okay, so you had parents like mine.
Hell yeah.
Strict as hell.
Yeah, I mean,
you couldn't go outside.
I would have to sneak out just to go play with my cousins.
Same here too. I couldn't even sleep over at my cousin's house.
Couldn't do nothing.
So it's crazy how similarities that we have, like, as far as, do you consider yourself Pacific Islander?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then most Pacific Islanders are like that, or we just say, yes.
No, we all consider ourselves
so
Polynesian.
we have a lot of similarities as Latinos, right?
Yep.
So we have like strict family traditions and things like that. Everything's family oriented, which I think is why you probably like had a lot of Latino friends.
A lot.
That's why you're stuck with me and Myra.
A lot of Latino friends growing up. That was crazy because I mean I would have family that lived a couple blocks away and they wouldn't interact with any Latinos. I mean, growing up in Lenox,
you had family that didn't even talk to Latinos at all, and they lived right there next to them.
They lived right next to them.
Why was that?
Well, because they're part of a different life. I mean, they grew up on the other side of a prairie. You know what I'm saying, where it's predominantly black.
Yeah.
They didn't grow up on my side of the hood, so they would always mess with nothing but black kids, and I would mess with the Mexican kids. I mean, that's how it was growing up.
Yeah. Damn. What about you, Myra? Growing up, were you raised around different culture or mostly your own?
Since I grew up around nothing but Latinos and black people. That was it. In the neighborhood that I grew up in, there were no Caucasians, there were no Asians, there was nothing but blacks and black and brown. That's it. Until I went to high school in the Valley, did I get introduced to different, to a more diverse community, like Caucasians, Asians, everything. Because I went to school in the Valley. in Woodland Hills. So it was a little bit of a culture shock for me going from South LA with nothing but Black and Mexican Latinos to the valley around other people. It was weird. It was a culture shock for sure, but I adjusted to it. I'm actually really grateful that I went out there because it opened me up. It got me out of the mentality that I used to be in when I was a kid, and now I'm basically around a lot of different. And I'm more open to everything. I'm really grateful that I got that.
And now knowing this, and you two have kids, so how do you raise your kids? Do you continue to have them around different cultures, or do you still want to have them kind of follow your like family traditions? Because sometimes when you mix with different cultures, you kind of not lose your culture, but you lose traditions that you might have been raised a certain way with.
Yep.
Right.
I think for me, that's important, right? So you want to instill those traditions with them while they're young, and still live through those traditions.
Right.
But the crazy thing is, like growing up in LA with my kids, you would never think that they're from LA. They grew up in Inglewood, born in Inglewood, born in Hawthorne, and these kids are whitewashed to the fullest.
Where'd they go to school?
Since they were little, huh?
Since they were little. I mean, they went to school at Dana, Bishop Montgomery before we moved out.
And there was white people at that school.
Yeah.
Because you have to think about it. You spend most of your time at school. And if it's not school and it's at sports, if you played sports, that was me.
It was that. I mean, a lot of times it was me not letting them see what I grew up seeing.
Right.
Same
you want to
thing.
protect them.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I look back at it now and I'm like, they're weak because
They
of that.
needed it, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they
Not weak. They're just not as street smart as you guys are now.
I consider that, well, for me, I consider that weak because, I mean, had I exposed them to what I was exposed to, they would have been stronger. Like
Stronger how, though? Explain that. Talk about that.
I think if you're from LA, you will adapt to anything. You can adapt to any environment.
Yes.
Moving out to Oregon, you see that people that live in Oregon, they won't do so well in any city in LA.
True.
Right? But people from LA, you can go to Oregon, you can go to Texas, you can go to Florida. It doesn't matter where you go. You can adapt to that environment because you grew up around so many different types of people.
Yeah.
But not a lot of people have that experience. And I think that's where I definitely, weakened my kids by sheltering them, keeping them in the
What
box.
are some of the strengths by you doing that?
Well, they're stronger when it comes to, they know a lot more of my own culture than I do growing up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because, they're proud. They're proud to be Tongan. Like, they don't even claim the Hawaiian side. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I raising my kids, everything was Tongan.
I will say you guys have so much pride and spirit that I love. I really do. Which is why I was telling you to hook me up with one of your cousins. But you said, I can't. I'm not about that life.
The great thing about my culture is there's our national rugby team. And the name of the team.
Is there really?
Yeah. The name is Mate Ma'atonga, which stands for Die for Tonga. And with that right there, that name, it represents so much for our people because they would die for Tonga, like literally, whether you're born in the United States or from the islands, like Tonga is all. That's all that matters.
And that pride is instilled with you as you're little because I've seen it. I've seen it where that you guys do a dance. You guys, that's your way to pay respects. So like, what is it called?
Well, the New Zealand's is the haka. With us, it's a sipitao.
Sipitao, and it's a way that you guys, I guess, show a sign of respect.
What's a war dance?
It's a war dance.
So those are
because I've seen it during football games. I've seen it
Mm-hmm.
during funerals. I've seen it during weddings, and I love that. Like I love watching it because it's literally it makes you so proud for like that culture because they have that unity and something to share that, and that's a tradition. And that's those are the type of traditions that I talk about when I say like when you surround yourself with different cultures and diversity, it's easily. That's like one of the cons that you can kind of like lose that if you don't continue those traditions, right? True. So, what about you, Myra?
I moved from LA shortly after Sean was, I think Sean was less than a year old. He was about 10 months when I moved from LA because I didn't want him to grow up the way that we grew up. I didn't really want him to go through the experiences that I went through as a kid. And they've basically been raised in a much better area, in a more diverse area. They get to see, I mean, to me, it trips me out because, and not, to sound racist or anything, but because of the way that I grew up, I never went to school as a kid with any white kids, any Asian kids, ever. I mean, it's different growing up in Inglewood or in Hawthorne or on the west side of LA where it's a little more diverse. But on the east side, there was none of that.
Yeah, unless you got,
We're from literally from the bottom.
yeah.
So from the hood. So there was really none of that. So when I see my kids, it makes me happy. But they also still that culture, their father's side, our side, it's still there. They identify with both of them. They're very proud of it. I think I've balanced my kids enough to where they're proud from, they know, I never hid anything from them. They know where we come from. They know what we went through as kids, and they know that we've given them a better life.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think mentally my kids, especially not the little one, like I could throw her in the hood and she'll survive.
She's
I could go
awesome.
throw her
There's
in the
always that one. There's always that one.
but my son has it in him too. He's a little emotional,
He's
but
really nice.
he's a really nice
He's a
kid. He's
sweet
really
kid.
respectful, but you know they're
innocent still. They're
They're
still kids. You guys have to remember, your kids are still kids, and you, even though like
ain't that innocent, right?
Yeah, ain't
She
that
doesn't have any kids,
no,
so she could
you
say,
know, no, you still have kids. He has teenagers. That's why he gave me that look. You do
have
have
little ones,
teenagers.
too?
No, he has teenagers, most of them. So I get it, but at the same time, like you don't also want to rob them from their innocence, and that's why you guys moved out or moved away.
we're not
to
robbing
protect them.
Social media is robbing them from their innocence.
Explain
Instagram
that.
and
Explain
Snapchat
that.
robs them from their innocence.
Because it exposes them.
They exposes everything to them. Like we didn't get exposed to those kind of things until we were, we had to experience
Unless
it.
you had MTV, the real
Yeah,
world,
or
HBO.
the box.
We
the
had
box
that.
after
Everyone
hours.
had cable. Everyone had cable.
We all
But
had cable, but it was different.
Exactly.
Like what was that on the?
no, but you're right. Like we had to experience those things. Like
We
True.
they're not able to experience. They're experiencing it through social media, through someone else's
They're
lenses.
being influenced to do it. When we actually had to live it out. We
Yeah.
had to go out there and do it. They are actually being
Figure it out.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They're being influenced to do it at a younger age.
A lot of things are also being handed to them. Like everything's so much easier for them.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
So much easier.
Oh yeah.
You
Oh,
know
yeah.
what I mean?
It is much easier for them. I mean, they have a phone.
Everything.
They have a phone. They
Yeah.
have Google. They have all these
A
things.
calculator. They have everything. Like
I mean, I would-
everything's at their
I would talk to them about.
fingertips.
There were times where, growing up, I would have to go to the library to get a book report done or a midterm and actually do research, actually look for books and find different quotes and
Exactly.
things, right? They just have to pick up their phone. Like, there's no reason for them to fail any class in the society
None
we live in.
at all. But that's also kind of making them a little lazier.
Yeah.
A lot
Yeah,
lazier,
it is.
actually.
It is.
Man, it's crazy. Off topic, real quick. I'm gonna look at my producer. I know she always. Do you see her? She gave me
Oh,
the
yeah,
eye when I
ooh.
said off topic.
Outside.
I heard that this generation and porn it's become unhealthy because a lot of young men it's because porn is so easy for them right now to just go ahead and just, like you said, at their phone, that they literally, the idea of sex has become something like just another activity. Like it takes away from the connection, from the romance, from just everything. And apparently, like the porn is making people more aggressive and abusive in a way.
In a bad way?
In a bad way. Because they're trying to like show you things to do that obviously like most people don't do, I guess. I don't know. I was hearing this podcast about it. Okay, I'm going. My producer's like, you're off topic. I was like, I know. I just wanted to talk about it because we're talking about the phone in your hand. Everything's just at your, like if you wanted to see anybody like somewhat kind of have some type of like sexual contact, you would either hit up MTV or like HBO after like dark.
Skinamax.
Yeah, like seriously, like
Yeah.
you didn't have it at your hands. Like
Watch,
they
what
have
was
it
that
right
on-
now.
You'd have to wait till like
what
midnight.
was that on the box? Midnight
knows
Love
so well.
or whatever.
Yeah.
When they used to
Apparently,
play all the love
porn-
Oh
songs.
yeah, BT.
Pornhub right
Yep.
now is like one of the top watched shows like in the UK or something like that. Like it's an actual, like they could get an award for how many people watch Pornhub. But it's ridiculous. Pornhub is like YouTube for everybody who like just wants to watch sex. But anyways, that's off topic.
Yeah.
I don't want to go too much into that.
Ooh.
Eddie's in the chat box. Eddie says we didn't have what they have in front of them. Google social media, like Myra said, like we didn't have the internet until high school or everyone had it. Not everyone had it, and that's so true. Is that Casanova? Casanova, is that you? Shout out to Eddie for coming in the chat box. I see you, man.
He's here for Filletti.
He's
'cause
only here for Filletti.
He's never in the chat
He's
box.
never in the chat box. I'm not gonna say he never listens because he does listen. He'll tell me, but he's never in the chat box. There's been like 1 or 2 times I can count that he's been in the chat box.
That's my man.
He's all here for
That's my
Filletti. Like for reals. I was like, yeah, he's here for Filletti. It's okay, Filletti. You have a fan. Fans.
One fan.
You have one fan.
Anna said, "Girl, you restrict their phone so many ways to keep them off certain things."
Right.
And that's absolutely right. My son, I mean, I hate to have to give them something to take it away, but it's a privilege.
Yeah.
You're lucky you even have it at 11 years
Man,
old.
you
know what I
told me
mean?
the other day that you took the phone from them.
Yeah, the only reason he has his phone today is because I'm here. But as soon as, he can only have the phone when I'm not around. If I'm around, there's no emergency. You don't need the phone.
And now with Snapchat,
Yeah.
like you can send nudes and they erase, and there's like no proof that you sent it.
Unless they screenshot it.
But then it tells you they screenshot it.
But they can still screenshot.
But yeah,
it.
for
Yeah,
real.
but-
No,
What
but
are you going to do
Okay,
about
what
it?
are you- You're not gonna
what
say
I'm
me
trying
no
to
more.
say, what I'm trying to
mentality.
say is like you guys like don't know if your kids are even sending anything like that because
Oh, I know.
no, not if they're sending through Snapchat.
I checked that phone.
If they send it through Snapchat, Myra, there's no way that you can tell if
What
you sent
Myra
a
is
nude or
saying
not.
is that she checks
I'm
it
on
every
it.
day, and
It erases right away.
Oh,
After you send
that's
it,
right,
it just
does.
erases.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but
It's
some
not
kids,
like 24 hours.
But here's the thing.
More
you
like
said,
he
I'm
might
talking
be
about-
receiving it than
they screenshot
giving
stuff,
it, because I
right?
think that girls give it more than they receive it.
When you screenshot it with the purpose of keeping it. So that means it's in your photos.
Yep.
And I'm going to go through those photos too. And if I find it,
Miss FBI.
my son.
Seriously?
For real.
My son is 11 years old. I go through that phone.
He's already got a girlfriend.
I paid. No, he doesn't. So they had
What?
He's got a girlfriend already.
to. So they had to break up.
Oh, you made them break up?
I didn't put it on me. I told his dad about it, and I mean, because me and we ended up playing the blame game, but he ended up calling the school, spoke with like the counselor, and was like, "Hey, we need to set up an appointment with this girl's parents because I don't think her parents even know." So they're like, "We can't set up an appointment, but
Yeah.
we'll email the parents."
Right.
Long story short, it all got to the parents, and my son came back and told me like they had to break up because of dad. And I'm like, oh yeah.
Hey, Eddie just
Yeah.
confirmed what we said. He said, LOL, y'all know me so well. Y'all know me so well. He said, I'm here for him. He's here for
Eddie.
Filletti.
Told ya.
I told you.
We respect that.
Hey,
That's all right, Eddie.
Eddie's the homie, but he listens, but he doesn't go in the chat box like today, and he's here for Filletti.
That's my bro.
It's the
Shout
crew.
out,
It's
shout out.
Hey, Eddie, just to
It's
let
the
you know,
circle.
just to let you
You
know,
remember the circle, boy.
Filletti leaves
It's
on
the circle.
Filletti leaves on Sunday, so he better go visit you and your baby girls because he's only here. You better go visit my homie.
Man.
He's got 2 beautiful girls. He's awesome dad. He's
Yes,
been
he
killing it.
does.
They were just at Disneyland. I saw y'all.
Aw.
Shout out
We're
to
still
them.
we're still gonna feel like he's here for everybody. We all go back.
Hey, it's my motherfucking show. You here for me too, damn it. Anyways, but yeah, going back to the topic as far as diversity and your culture and stuff. So my other question is like, why do we think that diversity is important to us and to people in general? Some of it is, the knowledge of other nationalities. Like, I love learning about other people. I'm not sure everybody's like that, but I personally love learning about other people's culture. Like, I'm always asking Filletti, like I said, when I told him to hook me up with his cousin, here's one thing Filletti, we got to talk about this thing that you told me when we were talking.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I mentioned to you, like, hey, Filletti, like, I said it jokingly, but I was like, y'all, hook me up with your cousins or whatever, whoever is available, single, hook them up.
You saw that profile pic.
No, what happened was I saw this cute, like tonguing guy in like somewhere, and I was like, damn, he's hot, okay. And so I thought he was Filletti's cousin because there's not that many tonguings in LA.
What?
So,
There's a lot.
I thought
There
he was,
is a
I
lot of
didn't
tongues
know,
in there.
and I thought, and I was like, okay, maybe he's related to Filletti. So I was like, hey, this guy?
It turns out
He
it
like-
was.
He was like, nah, but he's like, you don't want me to hook you up with any of my cousins. And then I said, why? And then he went on to explain it because he knows me, and he's like, this is one of the reasons why you don't. So do you want to go ahead and explain? Do you remember our conversation?
I remember the conversation.
Okay, so explain to our listeners what you said to me when I asked you that.
So in the Tongan culture, you can't really say females hold a higher place in society than the male. It's more of the sister holds a higher place in society than men in general. And it's that way because, you know, as growing up, you're always taught to protect your sister. Like, your sister is everything. Your sister is more important than your mom, more important than your significant other, more important than your kids. It's your job to protect your sister at all costs. So growing up that way, men look for their sisters' acceptance more than any other females in their life, and not a lot of women can deal with it. Not even Tongans can deal with that. Like, they still struggle with it, right? But a lot of a lot of different cultures, especially here in America, like extremely strong. There's extremely strong women, but that wouldn't hold nice with the Tongan family, because when you're entering our family as a woman, you're supposed to be submissive to your husband.
Oh, wow.
Because your sister holds, you know, they have leverage over everyone in the family. So that's why I was explaining to Jackie like that. I'm not sure you would, because she's extremely strong, but she wouldn't do well with a strong sister.
But you know what? Like, for me, I feel that in general, Samoan and Tongans have very strong women in their family. In general.
Yeah, strong sisters. Yes.
So why would you not want the woman that's coming in as yours to be just as strong?
Because that strong mind won't clash well with his sister. His sister, remember,
So
as a partner, you're supposed to just keep your head down and let your husband or your boyfriend's sister call the shots. Call shots with even your kids before you do.
But when they go around their significant other, they play that role.
They play that role. But
So
then when
they
go to
only
their-
raise it when they're around you. Like, let's say I was your brother. I mean, I was your sister. I would only raise it around you. But then when I go back to my husband's family, I would bring it back down.
Yep. You bring it back down on your husband's side of the family.
So pretty much, like, let's say for example that Feletti's cousin and I got together and we had a baby. So
Girl.
I know. So hold on. So Feletti's cousin, which is gonna be now like my baby's father, my husband, whatever, his older sister, or what if he doesn't
the
have?
eldest?
Oh, the eldest. Because if he doesn't have an older sister, it's the oldest of the sisters.
Yeah. If he
So she was your younger sister. She'd be the one.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much whoever's there, right? So whichever sister's present
Okay.
takes that role.
So she would have control over our child, me and him, and my the guy that I'm with, and so she would have the final say. So if we wanted
Final say as in what?
anything,
Everything.
She can
everything,
name the baby.
she can name the baby.
She will name the child.
She can choose the godparents. She can choose what school he goes to. She can choose what school the baby attends.
Would there be like a family meeting if you guys disagree?
No, you wouldn't be in the family.
You have to do what the sister is saying, and I found that so interesting because that's what their culture is. And so I did kind of relate it to us because you have allowed myself and Anna, who, like, I'm the godparent of your second child and Anna's a godparent of your first child,
Right.
and you include us in a lot of the big decisions that when it comes to your children. But at the end of the day, you and your husband make the final decision.
Right.
In this case, it's not that. In this case, it's the sister makes the final decision, no matter if you agree with it or not. And then I understood why he said I could not be with any of his cousins because he
But-
knows how I am.
But I do want to say this, though. If there is an event where stuff happens, like let's just say my grandmother just passed not too long ago, I feel like the women are the ones that take control with making certain decisions. And I think that's just in general in any family because my dad said it best. As a parent, your daughters are the ones that take best care of you.
Oh, yeah.
And the sons go with their wives.
They go out.
And yeah,
They leave the nest.
the sons go with their wives, and the
Yep.
wives are the ones that are over there taking control of their household.
Yep.
So I can see it similar, but that's deep. Like I don't know how.
But that's his culture, though.
Yeah,
That's
that's
how the
deep.
culture runs, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I love learning about different cultures.
Yeah.
Like, me and Feletti also had a mutual friend that was Pakistani, and we were both invited to the wedding of her brother. And that wedding, he married his cousin, Remember?
His cousin, like blood?
Yes.
Was that that was the cousin.
Yeah, but I think they'd never met. They were related by blood, obviously, but they had never met, and so
Arranged marriage,
it was an
yeah.
arranged marriage. That's another thing. Like as far as different cultures, like things that you're gonna learn. Like, and even though like it was something that I would never do or be a part of, as far as like me, I respected it because it was their culture. And me and Feletti both. You went to that wedding, right? And we went, and we just were part of the event. We were part of the wedding. And even though it's nothing that our cultures would do, we respected it and we were a part of it. Just because it's like there's so much diversity here in the city of LA, and which is why I'm bringing it up. It's because like it brings you to people that you probably would have never come across if you lived anywhere else. If you like, let's say our parents never left Mexico and we lived and born and raised in Mexico, we would never know Kosti, we would never know Feletti, we would never know Myra.
I think it goes more farther than beyond Mexico. I mean,
I know. I'm using us as an example.
Yeah.
And I'm saying like him and like Tungans. You guys live in mostly Hawaii,
New Zealand, Australia.
And so like I'm saying like if they weren't in LA, you know, like they wouldn't be. He wouldn't be exposed to Mexicans. He wouldn't be exposed to black people. He wouldn't be exposed to the like. Feletti is who he is because of where he grew up. Yeah. It's his culture, not just his nationality, his race, but culture is also where you grew up, your society, and in your city. So all of us, I feel like our culture brought us together. Like our city brought us together, and we're all different. Where did you grow up,
if you don't mind me asking?
In Lennox.
He said it.
111 in Truro.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's why he doesn't claim LA. He claims Lennox.
Oh, okay.
I claim Inglewood, but Lennox is Inglewood.
It's like a
Lennox,
small part. It's like
Inglewood,
a little, the nipple of the titty.
Yep.
I get it.
The nipple, yeah.
Why do you have
it's
go
a little TJ. It's called Little Tijuana.
That's
you know
the exact thing.
God.
It is.
Is it the nipple?
It is. It's the little part of the big area.
You.
No, for real.
Not the areola, but the nipple.
Yeah, the nipple.
Got it.
Anyway.
It's not small, but pretty big.
Ooh wee. Ooh wee.
Okay.
I hate y'all. I really do. I can't. So shout out to everybody in the chat box. I see you guys. Ron, you know, you're awesome. I know you're all the way in Canada,
Yes,
but you
Ron.
are loyal not only to my show,
love
but
you.
to a lot of the shows here on the Good News. You're awesome. Anna, I see you there. Anna agrees with you, Myra. She says, girl, you restrict their phones so many ways to keep them off certain things. Ron says the U.S. and Canada both need exactly that. From what I think what we're talking about. Anna says she controls her child's phone from her phone. So I think you have that too, right? You can control your kids' phones from your phone. Companies have a lot of ways for a parent to control. Ron says, in my high school, the internet was a green screen, 2 guys on the computer class. Huh. Don't bend your floppy disk. All right, Ron.
Floppy disk.
Ron, you taking it way back.
Old school stuff.
We had floppy disks.
You don't even know what a floppy disk is.
What does that mean, Myra?
A floppy disk is the.
I know what a
Now
floppy
there's
disk
flash
is,
drives.
but what
How
does that
old do
mean?
you
What he's
think I
saying?
am?
No, I'm saying, what does it mean? What
I
he's
don't know.
saying?
He's taking it
Don't
back
bend
old
it.
school.
I guess when you insert it into the computer, don't bend it, maybe?
I don't know what he's. Ron, you are hilarious.
Don't
Ron,
bend your floppy
how
disk.
old are you,
Now
Ron?
I'm-
Hey,
Wow,
don't
right.
drop that
Hey.
dun dun dun.
Hey.
Hey, don't drop that dun dun dun.
Hey.
Wow, it's lit.
He's got a floppy disk, y'all.
Oh my
He
God.
got a little floppy disk.
A little. Hey, those things are little.
Hey, the floppy
Ron,
disk,
You
know
didn't have
what
to
I
say.
mean?
You didn't have to
We
say
know
little
that
though. You could have just said the
not
floppy
have
disk.
What
a
are you guys
small
talking
floppy
about?
disk.
The floppy disk.
We're talking about a floppy disk, right? Back in the
Jeez
day.
We
Louise.
know you have a heavy computer that's gonna run hard drive as it should be.
Right.
What?
We
What
don't
does
know.
that mean?
Now she's talking about hard drives. And,
What does that mean?
oh, man.
Wow,
Dying.
y'all crazy up in here. I gotta go back to
I honestly
my
don't know what that
Oregonian
was.
love.
I don't know what that was about.
Ron's floppy disk.
Hey.
Hey, don't drop that flop the dun. We don't have rights to this music, but we're gonna play it. Don't drop the dun. Hey, if you see
Damn,
my booty
I
shaking,
feel
it's shaking up
old.
the air.
How old is that song?
Okay.
I don't know. I pulled it up real quick. I don't know what. year
Eddie said, "What just happened?" Don't drop the soap, Eddie.
Don't drop the soap.
No, please,
Eddie,
please drop the soap.
Eddie, real quick, can you call us in? I think I have the Skype on. Eddie, this is for you. Call us at 323-900-0478. I want to ask you how your experience was growing up in LA. So call us 323-900-0478, and I am sure Faletti wants to hear from you. Right, Faletti?
I do.
Anybody that wants to call in, why don't you guys just call in and make our night, please?
Oh, you're hilarious. But anyways, that song, actually, I don't know when it came out. I want to probably say 2006, 2005. I don't know. But anyways. All right, going back to the topic. Myra, can you cut that air? Because we can hear it in the back. But it was hot in here, y'all. We've been drinking, huh? So another thing that I kind of wanted to bring up as far as diversity is, why do you guys think that diversity is important to you in general? Why are you pointing? Okay, you know what? That's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Why are you pointing at me? The hell?
Because
she was looking at you.
I know. I sure was, but
yeah,
it's fine.
Myra.
It's fine. I'll say some things. Some reasons that a diversity can be important is the knowledgeable of other nationalities, increased innovation. You know, research indicates that more perspectives you have when solving a problem, the greater the creativity generated by the group. Community connection. It helps with negative stereotypes and personal bias in different groups. Recognition of the abundant diversity of the cultures. Respect for the differences. That's a big one too. Mm-hmm. The more you understand the different cultures in your area, or just different cultures in general, like the more you'll have an understanding and respect for them. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, it opens up your mind. It helps you adapt to different situations.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not so closed-minded. You're not so naive to certain things. So it allows you to be, it allows you to approach different situations from different perspectives. So I think you become a better human.
Were you gonna say something?
Better human.
Better human.
No, it really does.
Yeah, diversity really opens up. It opens up.
I agree.
It opens up your mind. It opens up your perspective on things. It just, it's a quality that a lot of people don't have, and it's a great quality to have.
I agree.
Very true.
Were you gonna say something, Faletti?
No, I mean, I think Myra hit it dead on. In terms of, I think, I mean, when you're around different cultures growing up, you're more at ease around other people, like other strangers, right?
Yeah, exactly.
When you come in contact with different humans of different species or whatever, you're just at ease. There's no tension because you already know what they're all about in terms of just a general knowledge of what you can speak on, what you can't speak on when it comes to certain certain people. So,
I mean, I definitely want to talk about just being like. I'm gonna give it a quick example. Keith, who you guys all know, he's Keith Good News. This is his station. He is Mr. Keith Good News. He's African American. But one time he hit me up and he was like, Jackie, can you talk real quick? Where are you at? And I said, actually, I can't talk. I'm in church. I'm at this Baptist church. And he sent me a text and she's like, what are you doing at a Baptist church, girl?
Jackie is everywhere.
Hallelujah.
She is everywhere. She'll be at a Jehovah's Witness church. It don't matter.
He's like, Jackie, what are you doing at a Baptist church? He's like, and then he said, I swear to God, if anybody's can be anywhere, it is you. And that's always stuck to me. And the reason, let me just tell you why I was at the Baptist church. So my goddaughter is obviously half Mexican, half black, and her grandma on her black side is Baptist. And she was praise the Lord. And she was performing at their Baptist church. And I went as her godmother, and I went there to support her and show her love. And I didn't know anybody there except for my sister, my brother-in-law, and my brother-in-law's mother and his family. Other than that, I didn't know anybody in there. And I just pulled up, and I went there by myself. I met my sister there, who wasn't even there yet. None of their family was there yet. I was early, surprisingly. And I walked in, and I was sitting there. And I feel so comfortable everywhere I go. That's the type of person that I am.
Yep.
I don't look at you or treat you any different or anything like that. And he knows, and most people that know me know that I can go anywhere and I can adapt and adjust and be comfortable because I don't look at you as far as the race you are, your religion, or anything about that. I look at you as a person. If you talk to me, if you treat me with respect, I'm going to treat you with respect. And even if you don't treat me with respect, I'm going to show you love. That's the type of person that I am. But I was at this Baptist church, and I went there for my goddaughter. That's it. I went there for her. But when he found out that I was at a Baptist church, he was very surprised. And he's like, but honestly, if anybody could be there, you could be there because he knows my personality. And I'm not saying that Baptist people are like, you should fear them or anything. It's just because it's different. It's different. I'm a Mexican female who is Catholic. You don't see that at, a Baptist church. You don't see that at all. And if you do go to some things like that, people are usually nervous, they're insecure, they're like, they feel uncomfortable. To me, I don't see you for your race. I don't see you for your religion. I see you as how you are towards me as a person. And if you talk to me, I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm going to answer you. How's the weather? Oh, it's good. Like, how are you doing today? I'm doing well. How are you doing? I guess to me, I've always been just the type of person that to see you for who you are and nothing else. And that's why I think I have so many friends and people in my life that are different personalities, different religion, different cultures.
You have that quality I was talking about.
I know, we were talking about that. Yeah. And I love that. But I'm not trying to say that everybody should be like that. I'm not trying to say that it's kumbaya like that in that world, because sometimes it's difficult for some people. And I get it. I'm just trying to explain to you why I was at a Baptist church. That's just who I am. I'm that person. Like, you invite me somewhere, I'm going to go. And I've gone to clubs, to parties, to movie theaters, to lunch by myself. And I'm okay with that. I enjoy my time. I enjoy my space. I enjoy who I am as a person. And I am okay with that. You know what I mean? So, like, for you, Folletti, like, you have been around a lot of Latinos.
Yeah.
And you literally have been, like, you and I, we got along right away, right?
Yep.
And then your reason was because you were around a lot of Latinos.
No, I mean, me generally, I get along with everybody.
I would say you and I are similar to that way.
But yeah, I mean, when it comes to like if there's like a Hispanic crowd, yeah, I get like drawn more towards that crowd.
Okay. It's fine. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I just feel more comfortable with that crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel more comfortable around Latinos?
Latinos, I mean, generally anybody. But Latinos because that's where I grew up around. So
right.
I feel like I connect better with them.
Yeah, of course. And what about you, Mara?
I'm comfortable around anybody, so it's not a big deal to me unless I get a weird vibe. It's all about the energy. If I get real, like a bad vibe from someone or just like their energy isn't right, I can't be around it. Or I just kind of, shut off or just rather not be in that space.
Yeah. I agree with that, man. And
shut off.
It's true. Like, if we're at an age too where we're like, we're done. Like, if
to
you're
me,
not
it's all about the
energy
vibe.
and
Like,
the vibe.
I don't care if you're white, purple, black, orange. If I feel like your energy, your intentions, or you're not, that can't be around it.
I feel
basically.
You. And you and I, you know me, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
And
I'll
also,
give you that side eye, like, girl, I'm gonna catch you. I'm just kidding.
And and some other things that are important about diversity is, acknowledging the differences and the cultural expressions and contributions, valuing what other cultures offer, encouraging the contribution of diverse groups, empowering people to strengthen themselves and others to achieve their maximum and potential by being critical of their own biases, celebrating rather than just tolerating the differences in order to bring about unity through diversity. But also, I want to ask you guys, is there such thing as too much diversity? Because some people say that, you might lose your language, you might lose your traditions. For example, the Latinos of second and third generation, they don't speak Spanish. Oh, some of them. Not all. I'm not going to say all.
I think you just have to be in tune with who you are. Just know who you are, what you are, and I don't think there's too much. There's a such thing as too much diversity. I think it's just. You just need to know who you are, value who you are, and
Yep.
that's all it is.
And breaking traditions could be okay because if I follow traditions, I should technically still be living with my parents because with the Mexican tradition, you're not
right, because you're not married until
Yes,
you're married.
You're not
So you
supposed to
gotta
leave your parents' house until you're married as a woman.
You gotta be married.
And so technically, I should still be living with my parents
Girl,
because
you
I
better
ain't
go
married.
save some money.
Oh, that's how it's gonna be.
They'll take you back.
Oh,
Girl.
yeah.
Hey, is that how it is in your culture?
Hell yeah,
So are women still practicing that in your culture?
of course.
So-
Yeah, that's still big.
Is it full on big, or does everybody do it, or does like most people do it?
No,
You
everyone
still
does.
have some of those that
You have
like,
you have some that like very few that
and I guess I'm that few.
that are woke.
I'm woke, honey.
Rebelling,
Yeah,
right,
they're
where
rebelling, but
just like-
for the majority, I mean, women stay at home with their parents.
Yeah, because when I told my parents I was leaving, I was probably like, 26, 27 when I left. And my mom and my dad were so shocked. They're like, why are you leaving? You
Oh, yeah.
have everything here. You don't have to leave. And I
It's
said,
free.
true.
Not with me.
But to me, I feel like, what if I never get married? I'm not going to want to live here for the rest of my life. I want to be able to prove to myself and to everybody that I can make it in this world by myself.
But you don't want to take care of your parents? Like if you don't,
I
let's say if
can
you don't
still,
ever get married.
I can still take care of them without living with them, though, Feletti.
It's not the same though.
You're right. It's not the
It's
same.
not the same.
But at the same time, and I'm glad that you bring that up because
Anna just moved back home, right?
so
And she's
Anna
sick. She's helping.
Anna has a house in Carson, and she left her house and she's renting it out right now to a family because she came back to help our parents.
Yep.
One, my dad got sick and he had to get prostate surgery, and they removed something from it, and luckily it was not cancerous, so he did not have that. But we all feared it for a minute, so she moved in to help him with that and just to make sure he's eating healthy. But at the end of the day, it's like she moved back. She left though. She left. She went and bought her own house. Like, we're not following the traditions where we're staying there until we get married. The only reason she's coming back, like you said, is to help our parents.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean, like, I feel like that's not the tradition, though.
I mean, there's women that don't even leave. They get married and they stay there with their families to help. You know what I'm saying? Help their parents.
In Tungans.
Yeah.
In the Tungan
Most
country.
definitely. I mean, as a dad, like, if all my girls could stay home, like if they would all want to stay home,
Yeah.
I would be the happiest.
But
person
you're not
alive.
forcing it. Are you
No, but
forcing
I'm like
it?
planning it in their head. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, like my
Are you-
oldest.
Are you gonna force those traditions on your girls, or are
No,
they following
they
them?
accept it. They love the culture.
Yeah.
They love that side.
But like you said-
what I do though is, I want them to be strong, and I don't want the culture, you know what I'm saying, to take away from them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times, especially like I don't want my daughters to be submissive to any man.
Thank you.
So that's the one part I don't like about.
Right. Of your culture and my
About my
culture,
culture.
too.
Yeah.
You have your
That's how
daughters.
Mexican is. Machismo and all of that. I
yeah.
get it.
Oh yeah. So I'm big on, on their independence, but at the same time, I want them to value, how much our culture means to us,
Right.
As Tongans, our traditions, right? So, but I don't want I don't want my daughters, any of them, to be weak to a man. Like,
Thank you.
That's just me. You know
But-
what I'm saying? So-
Exactly.
But before generations, they did. The whole
yeah.
For Latinos, we had the quinceañeras, and the quinceañeras back in the days represented, okay, my daughter is ready to get married at the age of 15.
at the age of 15.
And you
Well,
can
yeah.
only have a quinceañera if you were pure.
Yeah, if you were pure.
You know what's growing?
Yes.
You know what's crazy?
That was,
Like growing
that was
up in
part
Lennox.
of the tradition. You couldn't
Growing up
have
in
one
Lennox,
if-
I used to always.
Love quinceañeras.
Why I love quinceañeras. I used to love them. I used to love going to them. But like I would mess around with my friends. Like, damn, she's about to get married. She's 15. I'm like, damn. But like, a lot of my like 15-year-old friends, they'd have boyfriends that are like 20 something.
Right.
They come up like,
and that was true.
they come up and pick them up in their cars and stuff. I'm like, damn, that's an old ass man. I'm like, that's crazy.
Right, exactly. And that's the things that I wanted to kind of bring up is that like you want for your daughters, that's kind of how I felt for so long, and which is why I ended up leaving.
Yeah.
My parents did not want me to leave. If I was still following the family tradition, I would still be living with my parents.
Yeah.
At my age.
Yep,
And that's to me is like kind of sad in my eyes, because I feel like I'm strong. I feel like I had to prove it to myself and to my family that I can live up without Sorry, Maria's over here being silly. And you know what I'm saying? Like, so,
it's real if Maria.
right. So I just wanted to go ahead and say that and just talk about that and just, you know, us being in LA, being our different cultures, and just, I'm really blessed to live in a city that has allowed me to meet all of you, you know, differently. Obviously, I was born with this one, but like, I'm sorry. I did mute you.
She was in the bathroom.
No, I muted you earlier when you guys were talking on the side. Anyways, I'm really grateful for the city because LA really does bring all types of people together.
Indeed.
And it teaches us different cultures, and it has brought me to Folletti being an example. But I have so many friends of so many different backgrounds and cultures, and I am blessed for that. And even though we have a lot of transplants in LA,
we don't care. Real LA people do not care because we do not consider them a part of anything.
they're not LA, but I do like
and
meeting
you
them.
know what a transplant is, right?
I'm like, what the fuck?
So
is
I
a
found this out a few weeks ago when we had the guys 8th and Mile or whatever.
Oh yeah, Detroit,
a few months
Alex and Kenway.
Yeah, apparently like one guy considered himself a transplant because he comes from Detroit and now he's in LA. But yeah, what's going? Oh. Yeah, we don't really care. I never even knew what a transplant was because real people that are from LA, we actually, you know, live the LA life. We're not out in Hollywood or, you know.
We live the life.
Right.
We really about that life.
And I get it. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm just grateful that I live in a city that's so diverse.
Yeah.
It really has made me who I am. I still love my culture. I still love being Mexican, a Latina woman. But I also love learning about different cultures and meeting different people and having friends like Folletti and Kosi in my life. Like, I learn so much from them. I accept them for who they are, their cultures, and everything like that. Myra, you're Mexican.
You're a beaner.
Oh,
but
I thought you meant like
no, I'm talking about different. No, but of course I appreciate
She didn't
you.
eat other bean burritos.
Shut up! Why you gotta call us bean burritos?
I was waiting for it to come out because he's sitting here talking about, I love Latinos, and I'm like, so that's why you call us beaners all the time. I was waiting for it to come out.
I hate you. Anyways. You know, Folletti gets his pass because, you know, he really...
fucking coconut.
He really...
Oh, man. Oh,
Is that what you...
I mean...
He really does love...
Coconut's good as hell, though. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Coconut's good. Yeah.
He really does love Latinos. He is all about it. Like he said earlier, he's grew up around us, and so our culture is very similar to his culture,
similar.
And that's kind of what I wanted to bring about that too. You know what I mean? The only thing that I could see that was negative about diversity, it was in the New York Times. They posted a study that says they have found the greater that the diversity is in a community, the fewer people vote, and the less they volunteer, and the less they give to charity and work on community projects. And it's found that virtually all measures of civic health are lower in more diverse settings, meaning, that, you know, like pretty much at the end of the day, they don't fully trust each other and they don't vote. And I don't know if I believe this, though, because it was one person, one study, and that was the only negative thing. I feel like that whoever did this study did not live in a diverse city, because if they lived in a diverse city, they would see all the more pros that come with it. Yep. You know what I mean? So I didn't really take up to it. Like, you can do your own study on it. I don't believe that the con is any way greater than the pros. There's way more pros. At the end of the day, our country, workplace, and our schools increasingly consist of various cultural, racial, and ethnic groups. We can choose to avoid them and live in our own bubble, or we can choose to have a level of understanding about each other, which helps our recognition and respect ways of being that are not necessarily our own. So that as we interact with others, we can build bridges to trust, respect, and understand across cultures. Furthermore, the diversity makes our country a more interesting place to live, as people from diverse cultures contribute language skills, new ways of thinking, new knowledge, and different experiences. Learning about cultures help us understand different perspectives within the world in which we live in. So that's just pretty much to wrap up today's topic. I thank you guys for tuning in, and I appreciate y'all for giving us your feed into your perspective on things, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap up today's topic and jump into Myra's question of the night.
Okay.
All right, Myra, what's your question? But wasn't your question?
We'll go with my original question since we didn't touch on it. What is the questions? What's the craziest thing you've experienced growing up in LA?
Ooh,
Craziest thing you can
what's
think
the
of?
craziest thing you've experienced growing up in LA? Let's think about that. That's a tough one.
And we don't have to, keep it going for a long time. Just
No,
think of
something
one
simple.
thing or one event that sticks out in your mind that was probably the craziest thing that you've ever experienced growing up in LA.
So
You got
I've
something
experienced many,
already? Really?
but the one that I will never forget is a day that I pray and I thank God every day that no one got hurt. We had went to a house party with Corey's cousin, who was just starting to date his second child's mother. And we went to a house party, and automatically they were already feeling some type of way because we were with him, and it was his best friend who had got murdered a while back. I don't know how many years back. So I went and asked for some ice. The girl said, nah, we ain't got no motherfucking ice. And then the other girl was like, stop playing with her. And so, long story short, me and my cousin, who is Corey's oldest cousin, we were outside, and we saw a guy with a gun. And I said, Cheryl, she got a gun. We ran inside. I found Corey. The minute I told Corey somebody got a gun outside, fire shot out. Boom, 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 boom. I left Corey where he was because we already had Lexus. So I ran out the kitchen, and as I was trying to hop the gate, there was a huge Rottweiler.
What?
And, I had my Q heels, my little tight pants. If y'all know what I looked like before, I was like voluptuous. I mean, small waist, big booty, cutie pie.
Cutie
I
with a
saw
booty.
that. I saw that Rottweiler, and the girls were too scared to go out there, and all this commotion was happening in the house because whatever was going on outside ran in the house. Everybody automatically. I jumped that fence. If you asked me to jump that same fence right now, I would not do it. But when you are in a state of
shock,
just
your
like
adrenaline is
trying
going.
to survive, survival mode, you are able and you're capable of doing so many things. And I jumped that gate. I felt like Catwoman. My heel broke. And I don't know why I thought about my heel. I picked up my heel and I just started rubbing and wobbling. One heel. Just one.
Damn.
But you made it out.
One
You
of the
made it out.
homegirls was sitting outside smoking a blunt in her car. And she said, that's Maria running down the street. They didn't even know that there was a shooting going on in the house.
Nobody got hurt.
I ran. I went and got the car, and I pulled up. Like, after that, like, everybody had skirted out, left. And I'm pulling up, looking like, okay, where's Corey at? Because I know that, I was wrong for leaving him in the house. But it was one of us that had to survive. I'm thinking about, we got a child that we got to go back to.
One of us got to make it.
So one of us got to make it. And so luckily, thank God, nobody was shot. All I saw is this guy walking up to another guy, pulled out a gun, like looking at him like he was going to fire on him. And I just said, oh, my God, I will never forget that day. And I don't know if that guy just did it to scare or whatnot. You don't play with stuff like that in South Central, but I will never stop to this day thanking God that there was nobody hurt at that time with, just gun violence, stupidity. Everybody just having a good time, enjoying the gentleman that, had passed away years ago, celebrating his birthday,
house parties
doing
in
his
LA.
thing. Exactly.
Man.
And that's the reason why I don't like house parties. Never have I ever. It was my first house party that I had gone to
I think
in
we
a
all
long
had a house party
time.
like that in LA. I think everyone who's from
mean,
LA had to have a house party
Yeah.
event
You
like
know what I'm
that.
saying? I mean, like,
I agree.
But see, I didn't leave anybody. I dragged my sister with me. Like, get your ass out of here.
No, girl, I'm about to go get the car. I'm about to go get the car.
I
No,
had to drag
I
I was
gotta
literally
survive.
dragging my sister down the street.
it's like house parties in like LA versus house parties like in Hermosa Beach and Manhattan Beach, two different things.
Two
Like,
different things.
I grew up like growing up in high school. I mean, that's all I hung around with, like, that kind of crowd. So I would go to parties in Hermosa Beach, Manhattan Beach in high school. Then I go to go back to LA, and I'm like,
whole different thing.
whole different thing. Yeah, way different. So yeah, I feel you
So
on
what's the
that.
craziest thing you've ever experienced?
Man, someone getting shot right in front of right
What?
in front of me. Yeah.
No way.
Oh yeah.
Explain
Growing up
that.
in Lenox. So leaving, this is junior high. I was like 7th grade. That's the first time I ever saw someone get
Junior
shot.
high?
Junior high. So I lived right down the street. I lived right on 111th. If you go 111 all the way down, you go to LMS, Lennox Middle School. That's where I went to middle school at. And I
Hey,
was,
shout out to Lennox.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lennox.
Shout out to all my
Give a good
Kleenex
round of
homies.
applause. I got
All my
you.
Kleenex homies out there.
Wait, if you from Lennox, you would not be saying that.
I'm saying that.
Sorry.
I'm saying that because
Because that's
if,
disrespectful.
He said
I'm saying-
111.
I'm saying that because if you live in Lennox, you know that Tongans and Lennox don't get along. So
Okay.
but growing up,
So you sarcastically
no,
saying
but
that.
all my friends were Lennox, like from Lennox, right? So they call me Duke. But I still say Kleenex, you know what I'm saying, in front of them, you know what I'm saying, because I grew up with them. But, for me, they take it lightly. From anybody else, yeah, they don't take that lightly
Okay.
at all. But, like, I was walking home, school just ended, and it was right in front of Jim's. Man, Jim's is a spot. We get some chili cheese pastrami fries. That's a spot to get it from.
Hey.
But
Shout out.
some black dude was out there just ordering outside, and some Hispanic dude just pulled up right in front of him, point blank, right in the back of his head.
Damn. You were
Execution
in the
style.
7th grade?
7th grade. So 7th grade, seeing that made me numb to things like that. Like there on out. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like when I saw people get stabbed and stuff like that. It's like okay, he got stabbed. That's what people do out here.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So seeing that, it was crazy. I mean, being in 7th grade and being exposed to those types of things, but that made me want to get closer to my other cousins, my cousins that my parents try to keep me away from.
The killers,
Yeah,
the shooters.
the shooters. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
You're like, you know what? Maybe it's time for me to start interacting with those parts of my family. You know what I'm saying? And stop trying to, shy away from them.
Just trying to be
So
square.
yeah, I mean, I was super square. I ain't gonna lie. I never liked. I was always a driver. So I was driving since I was 10 years old. So and I always had a car. My parents, I grew up in the hood, but I didn't grow up in the hood. You know what I'm saying? If you understand that at all.
Yeah. I get you.
You know what I'm saying? So being the youngest and being the person with the car, affiliating yourself with those types of family members, you were exposed to a lot of different things that I like protected my son against, which is one of the reasons why we moved to Oregon. I didn't want him growing up around that side of my family because he's super close to it, all of my family. But I didn't want him exposed to that stuff. I didn't want him to deal with those types of deals because I knew I could survive those types of environments. But him, nah, they soft. My kids are soft compared to the I don't think they can handle it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was crazy times. I grew up seeing a lot of crazy things and witnessing a lot of crazy things. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And that happens. That's LA for you,
That's
Like,
LA.
But I mean, when people think of LA, they think Hollywood. They think freaking celebrities. They think, bougie. And it's not. Like, I feel like that's LA Hollywood. That's Hollywood. LA is what is in this room right now.
You know what it
LA.
is? When they say Hollywood, it's the movies, right?
Yeah.
But the movies are made based on the lives that we lived. You know what I'm saying? So like they love that part of LA because they're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's the
They're
movie,
watching it.
they're watching it. But then we grew up and we're like, dude, you don't want to grow up like that.
And somebody posted on I think on their Instagram, and it said like, if you wanted to see LA, it was out yesterday.
Yes.
That's who LA
That's
was.
it.
Yep.
That's what it is.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
If that's who LA was. If you wanted to see who LA really was, we were out yesterday
Yep.
for Nipsey.
Yesterday, and when was it when they all came together and they all did that
It was
walk?
it was a peace walk.
That's-
I think
that-
it was
that-
last week around Thursday, I think.
That was super dope to see too.
But
What
you know what? It was super dope, right? But I was before that peace treaty came up, I was like, there's no way in hell any of them niggas from Inglewood family or Queen Street, there's no way they're going to be part of that meeting. And they weren't. I mean, they even did a shout out a day after the meeting talking about, we ain't about that true shit. Inglewood, we about that life. And it's true. Inglewood cats
Yes.
are different.
Yeah, they might have had
Like-
respect for Nipsey, but they're not going to be out there.
I was talking
Nah,
to Feletti
Inglewood
about that
cats
because
are
I was
different.
standing out there on Manchester and La Brea, and you even said, you're like, yeah, Inglewood was out there, but not the gangs. They
No,
were
not
not
at
out
all.
there at
No.
all. And
Not at all.
And you're right, they weren't there. They weren't. But at the same time, like, you don't think they had some type of respect for him?
Yes, but they're really about that blood life. They really about that life. Like, you know, they ain't trucing with nobody, money or not. Like, they about that life. They about Inglewood.
Yeah. All right. What about you, Myra?
I've experienced a lot of crazy things, or witnessed a lot of crazy things, but I would say the one that stands out the most to me, I was probably about maybe 13 or so, 12 maybe, and someone from our neighborhood that we all kind of grew up with was in a high-speed chase, and we were all watching it on TV, and we're like, oh, that's so-and-so, that's so-and-so. He literally had the cops chase him all the way to the front of our building where we all lived, and we're telling him to get his hands up and all this other stuff, and I'm literally standing on the front porch watching everything.
Yeah.
You know my mom's old place on 74th and Main?
Mm-hmm.
Watching the whole thing, and he gets out of the car playing Avant Separated.
Shut
and
up.
He had this small car, but he had like 212s in the car, and it was bumping, so the whole block can hear the song playing. And he had just got out of jail. I think he did 15 years in jail. One of his older brothers that got killed by the police like a couple years ago. Long story short, he got out, and I guess he must have said, I'm not going back to jail, because as soon as he got out of the car, he had one hand out. The next hand, he started shooting at the cops, and they shot him. He managed to run around the corner, and when he ran around the corner, I ran in the house, because around the corner, my mom's bedroom window is literally right at that corner. So we ran in the house, and I got to see him die, take his last breath. And
Shut up.
yeah, it sucked because we knew who he was, but the cops didn't care. They sat there, they watched him die, they watched him take his last breath. Nobody called paramedics. He sat there on the sidewalk for about 15 minutes, and even when paramedics came, you can still see him trying to gasp for air after they shot him dead, shot him, and they slapped him onto the gurney, threw him in, and they didn't even rush out. That was it. And we sat there and literally watched him take his last breath.
Man, how old were you?
It's probably about 12, I think. 12 or I was like 13. I think I was 13. And yeah, so that's probably, I don't know. The gunshots, the sound of the gunshots scared me a little bit because it was so loud, and then there's so much going on. There's so many shots, and he managed to run around and not fall when they shot him all those times until he landed right on the corner on the sidewalk. And after he landed, they still shot him, and he laid there and took his last breaths. And the cold part about it, what makes it worse, is that the man, his father had, I think, 3 or 4 sons, and all of them died to gun violence.
Oh my God.
2 of them, I think, actually the other one was gang violence, the older one. One of them was by the cops, and the other one not too long after, actually no, about 5 years ago, got shot and killed. Literally someplace where I was supposed to be and I wasn't. So yeah, that was probably the one that stands out the most. And seeing someone die right
in front of you.
Right in front of me.
And after that, at that moment, what did you feel?
I don't know. I just felt like this is the life that we're living in. This is what it is.
And the reason I asked that is because I was just talking to Madi about this, and she's a teacher in South LA. And when Nipsey died, a lot of the kids, they were not, I want to say that they were okay with it, but they were numb. They were numb to it. They're like it happened. It was another guy. Okay.
Yeah. So
he was a rapper. It sucks that our youth is immune to that feeling that because this person was gunned down, it's like they're used to it. That's not okay. We should not be okay with the fact that our youth it's immune to them. That people get shot and die.
And it's crazy that all of us related our craziest moments to shootings.
And you should shout out to Eddie. Eddie's in the chat box. He says, having my apartment shot at when I was a kid and having a bullet skin my hand.
Ooh,
he was a kid when a bullet skimmed his hat. So just imagine that. Like that's what you grew up and you think that's the norm.
I agree with Anna. We used to we got so used to just, as soon as we hear guns, drop on the floor.
Yep.
That was
She
it.
says, I say the fact that I got used to dropping on myself on the floor in my house almost every night due to gun shooting.
All the time.
And it's so sad. Like, we should not be okay. And that's exactly the reason that Feletti, Maria, Myra, you guys all moved away and try to be better and do better for your kids.
Absolutely.
So don't feel guilty. Don't feel that your kids are not street smart. It'll come later when they're older, when the right time is right.
What did
right
Lauren
now,
London say? It's not on you, it's in you.
it's in you. Exactly. So with that being said, I mean, we got to wrap up tonight. It's been really tough to talk about this with everything that's going on with Nipsey Hussle, what he represented, who we are in LA, the stereotypes that LA has to put up with as Latinos, as Pacific Islanders, as African Americans. Like, literally, we all have something to do and put up with in the city of LA. But at the end of the day, we're here and we're exactly where we have to be. And we met each other and we're here in this room. We're here in this room at this very moment because it's meant to be. And we're sharing our stories. We're sharing our truth. And people need to hear this for their own sake, for them to relate, for them to be able to feel comfortable when they go to sleep. And just understand that you're not alone. We've all been there. We're going through shit. Life isn't perfect. But at the end of the day, just be happy with who you are. And that's it. So thank you, Myra, for your question of the night. I appreciate it. We gotta wrap up because producer said we're done. We're done for the night. She's been telling me already. Feletti, do you want people to find you? Do you want to tell them where they can find you?
Excuse me?
As far as your social media handle. Oh my God.
Feletti, you live too damn far away. Ain't
nobody gonna visit you in Oregon.
Huh?
Do you want to
find me out there?
You put your information as you want, or you can just say it's Feletti.
Nah,
you
find me at _Feletti.
There you go.
Yeah, holla at your boy.
Hey, and tell him Jackie sent you.
Yeah.
So he can get me some free shoes.
Oh, the shoes. All y'all gotta do, Jackie and Fetty. All y'all gotta do is visit. Y'all already know.
Oh, and Maria.
Hey, we going to Oregon.
Maria.
Right.
No, we're going to Oregon. We're going to go to
When
Oregon.
y'all coming?
I like Oregon.
Y'all gotta let me know. You know what I'm saying? Because
the end of July, August.
you have to let me know.
We're going to Vegas end of July.
Oh yeah, we're going.
I'm gonna go with them, and I'm gonna make sure I'm barefoot so I can bring back 2 pairs of shoes.
Ooh, damn! Don't be barefoot, girl. Well, let me look at your feet first. I gotta look at these feet first.
No, I'll put them in your mouth.
Ooh, wait! Oh, shit. I do got a feet fetish though. Ooh, wait.
Can y'all stop?
Me and
please?
feet. Ooh, we love each other.
Oh God, stop. Anyway,
I've never met a guy with a foot fetish. Good Lord.
Long as I got King
Yeah. Lord, you know it's been a while.
Anyways, thank you for being here and spending your Friday night with us. We see you. We appreciate you.
Yes.
Ladies,
Hey.
remember one thing. Oh, wait. I'm your host, Mysterious Jax. This is Ladies Night Radio Show. And just remember one thing, ladies.
Yes, you are enough. Happy Friday. Feliz Viernes.
Shout out to everybody who is from LA, born and raised. I see you. Keep your head up. It's been a hard time for us this week. But, at the end of the day, stay true to yourself. Be there for your family. Be there for your friends. Be true to yourself. I see you. I appreciate you. Stay up. Love you. Shout out. Feletti, you got something to say?
One love.
Hey, one love. Myra?
Have a great weekend. Have a great spring break. Don't drink and drive.
Don't drink and drive. Uber.
111.
Maria?
I just want to say love and respect each other and treat everybody the way you would want to be treated.
I love you.
R.I.P. Nipsey. The marathon will
Continue.
continue.
Tease up. Tease up.
I love you guys. If nobody tells you, Jackie loves you. Stay up. I love y'all.
They can do to a nigga got me lost in hell to live and die in LA on bail. My angel sing.